Good to see you, everyone. My name is Robbie Howell, and welcome back to another Enclave recorded mission featuring three fantastic and highly deserving players who have been doing a lot for the game recently, and this is the best way I know to say thank you. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves first, beginning with Barbara.
Just a sec.
Mm-hmm.
I lost the channel. Now I'm. Hey, I'm Barbara from Germany. I'm a member of the Polyfeder Publishing Company, and we want to do the localization of Enclave in Germany or German-speaking countries in Europe. So I play a vessel, and it's called Octi, and it's quite unusual. The normal NPCs will see a girl, 16-year-old, blonde, wearing bright cloth, but you, the agents, see me as a giant octopode, like an old one from Cthulhu. So yeah, let's start.
Excellent.
Fun.
And next up, let us hear from our good friend Rich, who has been on the channel a bunch recently, and very deservedly so.
And thank you for having me once again, Robbie. I am Rich Tertulio, biological safety officer by day, by night, gaming, as much as I can get in. Robbie ran for me at a con in June, and I haven't left. Enjoying every second. And today, I will be reprising with my character, Whimsy, my little clothes horse of an illusionist who is just so delighted to be here.
Excellent. And last up, Ori.
Hello, my name's Ori. I don't actually know what I'm doing. uh, I've been playing Enclave since April of this year because I found out about it due to a con in March. And I will be playing my lovely illusionist Shelby and Anita, who joined the Enclave to have adventure and definitely got what more than she bargained for.
Excellent. And with that, I have received for these characters the following focus words: Herald of Hope, a joyful gift, and, at the last moment, Soldier Boy. And this is one of those missions that I barely needed to think about. It was a really easy one to come up with. And it's going to be a remarkably uplifting mission. Rare for me, I know. But I have one for you that I think is going to fit quite well. You guys are being sent to a battlefield to facilitate a Christmas truce. It is trench warfare, grueling trench warfare during a major civil war. Both sides have brothers and cousins that are fighting against each other and have been for years at this point. Morale is in the dirt. People do not want to be here, but the officers are insanely gung-ho and are ready to execute people on the spot for loyalty or desertion. All of the infantrymen, with vanishingly few exceptions, want nothing less than for this to end. And even though you will not be able to end the conflict, you are being sent to a section of the war zone where the trench lines are quite close to each other. And critically, ammunition isn't particularly high at the moment. They haven't gotten a resupply in a little while. And your job is to facilitate a short ceasefire to allow the infantrymen of both sides to briefly commingle in peace. Again, officers are your primary threats. They are insanely gung-ho, and very notably, they are unbelievably stupid. Reason being is that all of the officers come from a single, sprawling, wildly interbred family who is the reason for the entire war. It is gigantic, and they are not only incredibly unintelligent, but they also think extremely highly of themselves and are very wealthy. More than that, the bounties for harming or especially killing one of these officers are vast. So vast that A soldier who harms one is going to get dobbed in by his companions immediately so they can get a reprieve from the awful war. And as such, the officers are all but untouchable, despite how incredibly difficult they are to work with. And so with that issue, you are going to be trying to facilitate this temporary ceasefire. Questions?
Is it humid there?
That's an excellent question. It is, at the moment...
Because my skin is so sensitive.
It's quite... at the moment, even though I said Christmas truce, this is going to be happening in spring. And it is muddy. Like, quite muddy. And so I'm not going to say humid, but I will say damp.
That's totally fine for me.
Other questions?
So we are talking World War I trench warfare, barbed wire, no man's land, dead lying in between the trenches, that sort of thing.
Very approximate to that, yes. I will say there are going to be some differences. The technology has progressed in different ways. There are different cultural foibles, things of that nature. But a direct World War I style trench warfare analog, start there. You'll get most of the picture.
Gotcha.
Other questions?
Sorry?
I was going to ask on the topic of like technological differences, tech level and magic level.
Yep. So tech level, like I said, I'd say peg it at about World War I real world. Again, with some notable differences, but I'm not going to iterate all of them. Magic is an entirely different story. The magic level is extremely low, except for the nobility. Again, the officers. Part of what has kept their families so tight in is they do not share the magic. And so not only are they incredibly stupid, they also are magically gifted. And that's not a good combo.
No,
What could go wrong?
I see no way it could. Simply.
Indeed.
And the level of the ammunition and the guns would be like World War One.
Yeah, approximately that. The main threat in this part of the trench, the reason you're being sent to this part is because it is one of the least armed areas. They're going to have things like machine guns, which are obviously for you guys a massive threat, but they're not going to have things like howitzers or mortars to the same degree as you'll find in other trench areas.
And no grenades?
Oh, they'll have those, though fortunately running low. Like, again, running very low. So they're going to be more conservative with their ammunition than they would be otherwise.
And you mentioned the nobility. Am I correct that this is one of those so intertwined that it's the same nobility on both sides?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Now, the reason for the Civil War, completely unknown. It literally could have been because someone, like, insulted someone else in passing. Yeah. And then it just spiraled.
One dinner party between cousins and all this happened.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
So,
just a family feud.
Oh, pardon me?
I just said just a family feud, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the amount of soldiers on each side? Do we know this?
In the grand scale of the war or for this segment of trench?
For this segment of trench.
For this segment of trench, you're looking at like a bit under 100 people per side, most likely. Grand scale of the war, it's a country. It's millions of people. Final questions.
Nothing at this point.
Excellent. In that case, I say we proceed to assembly. Your characters brought together from their various homes across Manifold to Enclave HQ. Great, sleek, beautiful, mysterious, and brought to a plush meeting room somewhere at its center by faceless attendants. Another attendant there, ready and waiting for you. Physical descriptions and first actions upon entering. You'll be entering simultaneously. We will begin with Barbara. Physical description and first actions.
Physical description, a very huge octopode that's walking, and at one of the arms of the octopode, there's a life-size human, teenage blondie girl that walks in front. And yeah, Hi there.
And should we be using Amut Seba when able to see the octopode, or like what name would be going by here?
Octi. I changed that.
Awesome. We will use that then. Excellent. I will put that down. And so just kind of chirpily announcing hello there. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Marvelous. And Whimsy, physical description and first actions upon entering and witnessing your first companion.
Indeed. Whimsy stands 5'4", heart-shaped face, wasp waist figure. She's wearing a gown of what looks like a gray outfit that would fit in with the walls of Enclave. But when she moves, the light catches it and you see shimmers of rainbows. She has a cloak of cardinal feathers over her back. She has a belt of agate stones at her waist, and recently added to her ensemble, she is holding a staff carved of white wood that actually has this sinuous dragon pattern carved into it coming up.
That is new.
And yep, I went shopping at the Gandalf store. Anyway, so, and she walks in, skips in almost, and stops. There's a momentary pause, and then Whimsy's face, one of those grins that is somehow wider than her mouth, and just, I'm never going to get used to this place. I love it. And it's clearly a practice move because she clapped and then grabbed the staff again. It was,
yeah.
but and it's just a kind of slowly circling Octi at this point. Look at you! I have never seen anything like this. I forgot to say my name again, didn't I? I am Whimsicality P. Delphinium. You may call me Whimsy.
Responses from Octi before Shelby joins.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
He's writing all the names down. He's holding one pad in one of his arms and one and writes down all the names very, very slowly.
Very conscientious. And last up, Shelby, physical description and first actions. Lil Shelbs in the chat.
Shelby is 16, standing at around 5'3". She has this very brown hair, with these green eyes, and wearing this very cottagecore-like attire, and just rather scarred up around her arms, and also has the ears of a red fox as well as the tail. And she walks in, looks at the scene going on right here, between Whimsy and Octi, and just, hello?
Hello. What's your name?
My name's Shelby.
Just Shelby?
Shelby and Anita, but people again, Shelby.
And I must say, Shelby, I love the look. You see one hand twitch out like, no, mustn't pet the ear. Like, I
don't think Whimsy would be the first.
Yeah.
She smiles to Whimsy. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
And with the group now gathered,
I'm spraying some water.
like a mister. That's great.
Moisturize me.
Yeah. And with the group now gathered, other actions they would like to take and conversation topics they would like to open.
Whimsy just wanders over to the refreshment table and picks up her customary bowl of candied flowers, which she is nibbling on as we're going. So apparently we are going to broker peace. New. Aww. Like the change. Sounds like it's going to be difficult, though.
Surely not. Surely. I am lying to myself. We'll be fine.
You have never met nobility before, have you?
Yes, I have. I'm just lying to myself. I kind of just do that sometimes, you know.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't know.
But as they're not that clever, that should be an easy mission, no? Fumbling
Yes.
a Rubik's Cube together between two arms. And he's longing for a riddle box out of wood. And within a second, he gets in there and fetches himself some crabs out there and munches them.
I see. Shelby's just witnessing this.
Indeed. Any other notes that the squad would have for each other?
So, Octi, what skills do you bring to the mission?
What options I can whisper secrets if I find them. And I like to mingle with the darkness. And I hope that I find helping spirits there. There should be a lot of dead soldiers there.
A lot of live ones, too, hopefully.
Yeah.
Else the truce will be
Hope
remarkably
not to add to the dead ones.
Very good.
At this moment, the Enclave attendant present would uncommonly say something. And would speak calmly and politely in their normal, even tones. Your port-in location has been determined. You will be porting in to no man's land.
Oh.
This will give you equal access to both trenches, and fortunately, your appearances mark you immediately as non-combatants. We believe this will buy you enough time to get where you need to be.
Okay.
Whimsy is filing that under interesting theory.
And with that, the Enclave attendant would turn on a heel and leave the room, and the 3 telepads would spring to life. Final actions before taking your places atop the telepads, beginning with Octi.
No. I hope that it is a good omen that they changed things in last second.
And Whimsy.
Whimsy finishes up the last of her gillyflowers and trips on over to the telepad, turning around, bracing herself. I never get used to this. I don't like it, but it's still the best part.
And lastly, Shelby, final actions.
Shelby's just gonna head over to the remaining open teleporter. This will be fine. I really hope there's not that much blood on the ground.
And as the 3 of you take your places, you would feel the familiar, unfamiliar sensation of dissociating, tingling up through your bodies, beginning at your toes, or tentacle tips, and rising up through your legs, or tentacles, leaving them asleep in its wake. When it passes your midsection, your guts, or in one case, beak, would churn violently, and then you would no longer feel it. And then when it passes your chest, your heart, I think it's still heart, would flutter, and then you would no longer feel it beat. And finally, when the tingling passes your eyes, though of course for Octi that would have happened a good deal earlier, your vision would explode into ribbons of color. There is a buzzing in your ears, the world falls away, and then there is nothing. And as swiftly as the sensation came, it leaves. And you find yourselves standing with your feet sinking slightly into the mud around you, looking at what can only be described as a hellscape. It is torched, burnt to a crisp. every single thing is riddled with bullet holes. Maybe this was a farmstead once, can't tell. If there was a foundation, it's been overrun with mud and rubble. The husks of old trees kind of crane about like little hands. And the only blessing is that the bodies, and oh, there are many, have been in some cases washed and covered by mud, which now layers thick over everything in gentle sweeps, almost like sand dunes. It's clear to see where each side is, couldn't miss it for the world, and the day is heavy and overcast, either late in the day or very early in the morning, you can't quite tell. The moment you port in, all of you, given that you all have above average sensory, would immediately hear like yelps of alarm from both sides, though they don't sound they don't sound like calls to battle or anything like that. They sound like genuine surprise and concern. Immediate actions upon porting in. We will begin with Octi.
He's putting his tentacles in the mud, but as he senses a dead body, he puts the tentacles out of the mud and says, "Ooh, no cover here for now."
Yeah. What would Octi be doing with his puppet?
He puts it in front of him, but lets it hang aside as he sees that no living NPC is near here. If I got you right.
You can hear them for sure. You can see where the
but I can't
trenches
see
are,
them.
but you cannot see them exactly.
Yeah. So for the moment, she's at his side.
Yep. Given that
trying not to fall in the mud.
yes. Given that, as you might imagine, the battle lines are functionally identical from your perspectives, we will be referring to them as north and south for ease's sake. Before we go further, however, let us jump over to Whimsy. First actions. Pardon?
Just a moment. Did we get name for the two parties?
No.
No.
Well, I first was saying.
And they have the same family name.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
I can't tell
Okay.
you the name of the family. The family's name is Croque.
Croque.
I will put it in chat. Croque.
Yeah, I knew it'd be the fancy spelling. Okay.
Yes, of course.
All right. Well, two quick things from Whimsy. The first one to be a small pout at the mud on her shoes.
Indeed.
The second, north and south. Either one got a flag?
Oh, yes. Both do. It's the same flag, though.
Of course it is. Not even a different insignia to
No.
show it's like of one house or another.
Absolutely not.
Wow, that's got to get really confusing when knowing
Yes.
which side to shoot at. Okay.
You see, they are both the true one.
Of course.
Maybe this confusion will work for us. I'm working on something like that.
You're actually all on the same side. You're not supposed to be shooting each other. Anyway. A quick look at the companions. Divide and conquer?
Responses?
Fight and conquer.
I guess. So,
Then Whimsy starts daintily sprinting to the north side.
Daintily
Using the
sprinting is a great phrase.
She's
But
a master.
You both won't run to different sides, please. You two illusionists. Thank you.
what?
And she's Whimsy is using the ability of her graven staff to amplify her voice. Oh, please help me! Yeah,
Yeah.
She's running towards the north side.
Now, a question. Is Whimsy wearing heels?
No,
Thank
she wears
goodness.
sensible flats on missions.
Yeah. That said, a dainty sprint through mud and flats is not the easiest thing. So it's going to be a bit of a scramble, and I'm guessing she is highly prioritizing not falling.
Oh yes, most
Yeah.
definitely.
She has a
Stabs
plus to
help with
reflex,
that.
if I recall correctly.
Yes, one
Yeah.
plus to reflex.
So yeah, a little bit of extra balance will help out here. But before further, Shelby, actions that you would like to take upon porting in. Whimsy is trotting towards the north, I think I recall.
North side, yes.
What would Shelby like to do upon porting in?
Shelby's gonna look her head to both sides, then look to where Whimsy's going. Is Octi still near?
I believe Octi is still quite nearby, yes.
She's gonna look at Octi. So what's going on? Wait,
Pardon?
what's going on? I'm.
We're going north.
We're going. Oh, okay.
Well, if we're all going north, it's not dividing, is it? Anyway.
I think any side is quite as good as the other here.
Well, they're the same side. It's a civil war.
And I
So
take it
the
that
war is the side we have to fight against.
It's still the same people. Civil wars confuse me. Anyways.
yeah. Will Shelby be moving out after Whimsy in the direction Whimsy went, or does she have other plans?
Shelby's gonna follow Whimsy.
Octi, what will you be doing?
If I see that any of the two others is stumbling or not able to move fast forward, I help out with my tentacles.
Very generous. Fortunately,
So-
I believe I think I can say pretty confidently that Shelby is not a heals person, and also not only has that same plus to reflex, but also one in vigor as well. So she has a little bit of an easier time.
Yeah.
So I'm enlightened that both don't have problems moving there, and but I'll try to, when we're moving towards one of the fronts, do I have additional sounds, scents,
Oh yeah,
things like that?
absolutely. Now, given that all of you have at least above average sensory, and both Whimsy and Shelby have fantastic sensory, Whimsy being the highest, you guys would get like a range of different things as you guys are approaching the northern front. First of all, you would hear calling from both sides. You would hear multiple voices calling out, "Careful, heads down, stay safe," that sort of thing. You would hear from the south side as well, "No, not that direction, please be careful." But also from the north, "Just a little closer, we can get you into safety." So there's this like cacophony of shouting back and forth and back and forth. Second thing that you guys would hear is you guys would, especially the two with substantially higher sensory, the two illusionists, you would hear the sounds of rifles being loaded, the clicking of pins and the dropping of cases. And in Whimsy's case, she would also hear, especially as she's starting to get a little bit closer, the sound of like whispered orders. And in even only if snatches, the intent is clear. "Hook up around to the top flank, and then face down. Get on the machine gun nest. Make sure we have the room to cover their retreat." Whimsy being the first ahead, though Shelby is catching up swiftly thereafter, and Octi is pretty close behind. Octi has the easiest time moving in the mud, after all. The group kind of reconvenes just as you guys are coming up a muddy rise that's just like the final length towards the trench. Barbed wire is everywhere, but fortunately it's not in like a single unbroken wall, because obviously if you're charging, you need to be able to get around your own barbed wire. Actions that Whimsy would like to take as she is coming to this final stretch.
At this point, just moving forward as expeditiously possible. They're either going to let her through the wall or not, and there's not much she can do to influence it from this side.
You see helmeted heads peeking up and hands reaching out, saying, "Quick, come in." And you see that a few of them like actually have like a stretcher ready in case you need it. And you can even hear the shuffling sound of what maybe are rations or crackers or something that they're getting ready.
Gotcha.
actions you'd like to take as you're like getting to the lip of the trench, because people are reaching to you to pull you down into it if need be.
Yeah, I will just, assuming I can get under the barbed wire my own sin, I'm just going to slide into the trench, hopefully not land on anybody.
Yep. And a series of hands help you down and in, such that you land quite safely. Just behind Whimsy, however, are Shelby and Octi. As you two are approaching this final stretch of barbed wired area leading up to the actual lip of the trench, any actions you would like to take, or are you just trying to get into the trench as fast as possible along with Whimsy?
As fast as possible, but the teenage girl, the blonde teenage girl in front, and Octi is merely in the shadows.
Yes, indeed. What
So
shadows there
because
are.
he knows that if normal people see him, they're quite shocked and horrored. So he tries to be in the shadows,
Yeah.
keeping the puppet in front.
Now, and Shelby, anything that you would like to do before entering the trench, or do you have other ideas entirely?
Well, we've kind of abandoned the idea of divine conquer, so I guess I'm just gonna continue going to my allies, I guess. Unless I just turn and run back the other direction, but I feel like I'm gonna get shot if I do that.
Now, yep. Oh, pardon, Shelby, carry on.
Is there anything I'm able to smell with my sensory? Like, any
yes.
particular, like, sense?
Yeah, more than a little bit, actually. Now, couple things that immediately come to you. Smells like, as you might expect, blood, and much worse things, infection, sickness. But on top of that, and obviously the smells of metal and gunpowder and the like, but other things too. You would, for example, smell a bit of food here and there, booze, plenty of that, and also, very notably, a weird potpourri, sort of like herbal smell. That smells kind of like an overdone chai, is I guess the way I would put it.
Tasty.
Yeah. Any other specific things that she is like looking for as she smells the air?
Not particularly. She's just gonna keep running, and just kind of mutter to herself, "Oh, okay, of course there's blood. Why wouldn't there be? It's fine." He's just gonna keep running.
Yeah, and just like with Whimsy, hands reach up to help her down and in. Thank goodness you're safe! And various other like similar sentiments would come to her ears as she's brought down into the trench, her head covered, and like people looking to see if she's wounded. And so too would Octi's puppet be safely brought down into the trench. People, the soldiers inside, gently touching the puppet. Thank goodness you're safe. Is everything all right? How does Octi speak through the puppet, or is it just like a hello there?
No, he speaks through the puppet and say, "Oh, thank you for saving us here."
Yeah. Does Octi's voice sound different, or is it just the same voice?
Yeah, like a teenage girl.
Yeah.
16-year-old.
And you can see that
Smiling
immediately. The three of you are bombarded with questions. Are you hurt? Do you need food? Do you need water? Where did you come from? How can we help you? And quickly, there's a bunch of them are already starting to guess at where you came from. And as more and more guesses are whipped at you, the consensus seems to be they assume that you're part of like a USO equivalent, if you're not familiar with the term, like a troops of entertainers during wartime who help keep morale up among soldiers.
And Whimsy does nothing to disabuse them of that notion. So,
but as you guys are being like bombed with questions, they aren't like letting you move per se. They're clustered around you. They're concerned, but also they clearly assume that you are to be protected, and that doesn't involve roaming. Actions you would like to take as soldiers are huddled around you.
Yeah, the girl is smiling at everyone and thanking them a lot that they rescued her. And what could we do here to make things better for you?
And as you say so, the soldiers that hear you, because there's a good number of people around, you would immediately, you have triple spirit, I believe. Is it triple spirit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
With triple spirit, you can see that while they do not say it, you can immediately feel like a pall over their side of the conversation. Just stay safe, says one. Stay safe, and we will try to get you back to where you belong as soon as we can. But you can see that there's it's not a guilt, but it's like, you know the story of the panopticon, right? The idea of like a great prison with one guard in the center who could hypothetically be looking at anyone at any time, but you don't know if the guard is looking at you. It's this sense of like paranoia, for want of a better term, that you get off of these soldiers. Like they could be being overheard. And as such, they pointedly ignore the question.
Whimsy is similarly doing the, oh, thank you. That was the most frightful experience. And aren't you so kind and brave for getting us down here? Who do we have to thank for this? Who's in command of this section?
And you can see that as Whimsy is saying this, one of the soldiers near to her would say, oh, yes, of course. Do you like me to bring you to our local officer?
Yes, I would like to tender my thanks in person.
Yes, of course. Here, through with me if you wouldn't mind. It's a mess down here.
And Whimsy is very definitely trying to keep that fact off of her face. But but yes, he will follow.
Yep. Just wanted to make sure that we can be heard, because Guy's indicating that the volume's not coming through. I'm so sorry. I can hear you guys perfectly, so hopefully it's not a universal. Pardon me. Anyways, as Whimsy is kind of brought out of the throng, and is like flanked by like a trio of soldiers who would, as you might imagine, help her past mud puddles and lay down things for her to walk on and things like that. You get the sense that they haven't seen they haven't seen a woman in a long time. And
Whimsy's counting on that one. Yeah. Anyway.
And as they lead her through, they would bring, you can see that the uniforms here, as you might imagine, are filthy. But up ahead, you catch burnished brass. The uniform is impeccable, cleaned and pressed, though the person wearing it is somewhat toad-like in appearance, is the best way I will peer it. A bit squat, a bit broad, a bit warty, with a too big mouth and too small eyes. And as he turns around with kind of a deep, like beady-eyed frown with a huge, broad nose, he would give kind of like a little blink, and like you see his mouth kind of work around his lips a little bit, and then he'd say, "And by what means have you left your post, gentlemen?" You can see he's already getting worked up just at the sight of it. But one of the soldiers says, "Terribly sorry, sir. We have Stop stuttering! I hate stuttering." "Sorry, sir. Civilian, sir. Wish to speak with you." The officer would march towards you through the mud, sloshing mud on the newly polished clothing, and look beadily at you and say, "Why isn't a rifle in your hands, young lady?"
Well, for one, it would be far more effective in the hands of one of your soldiers. But secondly, nobody has thought to provide me one, sir.
"Rifles! 2 of them! Now!" And the soldiers oblige, and you can see the tacit apologies in their eyes as they hand you 2 rifles, 1 for each hand.
Yeah, she gets the tacit, I get it, with her eyes to see. Except she's now balancing 2 rifles in one arm and her staff in the other.
Yeah. The officer looks pleased with it. "Much better! Much better! Much better!"
It is good to be prepared. Sir, I never did get your name. I should introduce myself first. Whimsicality P. Delphinium, known as Whimsy, far and wide.
I gotta check. What's your spirit stat again? I think it's at least a plus.
1.
Yeah. You would feel his confusion, though you can't exactly tell which part of it is
I'm
confusing.
supposed to know him. Anyway.
And he says, yes, well, yes, He looks at you pointedly.
Mm-hmm.
You can see him getting worked up.
I'll try bowing. Let's see
He
if
like
that
doubles
works.
over, clearing his throat. Pardon me.
Yeah. It's like I don't know. I'm engaging nobility circuits. I'll try a curtsy.
And he, like, midway through his throat clear, he kind of perks up and looks a little more pleased. Yes, well, Lieutenant Croc. At your service. Not at your service. At my service. You're at my service. That's what it is.
Indeed, yes. Yeah. And it was like, of course, who else but the mighty Croc family would be in charge of such a thing?
Yes.
I am a fool for thinking otherwise.
Yes, a fool. That's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the soldiers around him. It's clear, just by the tightening of their mouths, that they would like to be anywhere else. They'd rather be, like, probably, like, manning a gun than doing this. But after looking at you for a moment, the lieutenant would say, there's a problem. I see a problem.
And this problem is?
You're not in uniform. He drums his fingers angrily on his side. This won't do. Will this do, sir? Will this do? Will this do? What's your name? Whatever your name is. And the soldier next to him says, I suppose not, sir. And the lieutenant would start to kind of march in place. But before we go further with that, let's jump back over to Shelby. After being brought down into the trench with soldiers around, trying to see what's going on, trying to make sure she's okay, you would see Whimsy being led away. Actions that Shelby would like to take here.
I do have I want Shelby's gonna look at around the soldiers that are around him. Robbie, how old is the youngest soldier I can
Younger
see?
than you.
Can I get would I be able to tell an approximate age range?
At a guess, 12.
Okay. Where is this boy from me?
Back of the crowd that's around you, there's maybe 13 soldiers about you. This would be towards the back.
I want to, because I feel like Shelby has no way to actually move away from the soldier near her. Not easily, at least. So I want to do a very small arcane manifestation, and I want to make a flower bloom in front of the young boy. Just.
And as you do, Frank, so is this like an actual flower?
Yes.
Excellent. And as you do so, you hear him gasp, and a soldier turns around and goes, "Oh!" And the boy takes it, and he kind of looks at it and smells it, and he would like tap nearby soldiers, "Look at this!" And they turn around and look. He kind of looks at it and kind of like peers at you, and looks at it and peers at you again.
He smiles to him.
And he gives like a soft smile, and he says, "Are you like a magician or something?"
That's definitely a way to word it.
With like the quick hands.
Not necessarily. It's weird to explain. Really. She smiles.
He passes it around to some of the other soldiers, who each, you see, take a moment to just not only feel it, but also to literally just smell it. To have like a reminder of something besides mud.
I love plant magic.
Yeah. The boy, like looking back towards you, his smile kind of falters slightly. He says, "So, not the quick hands."
Sorta, not really. I don't really know. It's a trick my father taught me when I was younger, really.
Oh.
She says that, her father being dead, but you know.
And he gives kind of a quick beckon.
He's beckoning to Shelby to come over.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna go over and kneel down to his level.
And he goes to whisper where like a normal person's ear would be, clearly disregarding the fox ears as being like just an ornament or something.
She can hear it just fine. It's fine.
Yes, she can. And he would say, "Terribly sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't be angry if I'm wrong. Are you Croc?
What?
Are you Croc?
Wait, what?
Like part of the...
Shelby has no clue what that means.
Yeah. He's like, are you part of the Croc family?
I'm from a land very far away from here. I'm a traveler.
Oh, okay. And he whispers, be careful. They don't like when other people do conjuring and things. And people might dob you in for it too.
Let me see.
So, just be careful, all right?
I will. I've been careful so far in my travels. I will.
Right. And he says, all right, give that back. And he goes over, and one of the other soldiers kind of teases him lightly, but gives back the flower. He says, yeah, give it to me, right? And he pops it into his little button on the breast pocket of his uniform. And he says, thank you, though. Haven't seen nothing like that in a while. I'd like to, of course. His brow falters again, and he says, do you need a tent? We can get you to a tent if you need it.
Shelby does not know how to decline this, so that would be appreciated. I don't know. Where did my other two... She kind of looks around to find where the Whimsy and then also Octi are.
Yeah, speaking of Octi, Octi, so obviously your body is like mushed up against the mud, right? Obviously there's like a layer of goofy that makes it so that the thing is in focus. You described it as being like in and out of focus, but and I think that's a cool way of putting it.
Okay, yeah. I'm watching the scene for a few moments and try to find out which person could need some more hands or tentacles to fulfill his job of the soldiers, and move towards them and slightly giving some tools he needs, and it's the right tool for this moment. And the puppet sits beside these soldier and says, hi, I'm Bella. Maybe at service.
You have a luck plus, I believe?
Yeah. What?
Excellent. Nice. So in that case, I think what would work well here is there's a soldier who's trying to pry open a crate that has like some additional supplies, and passing them a pry bar or something like that could be a good introduction to this. The soldier, who is like arguing with the crate pretty substantially before you do, kind of looks over at you, double takes, and then as you're just offering the pry bar, the Octi's puppet would introduce herself, so to speak, and he would... Thank you. Take the pry bar. Miss. Take off his cap.
Hey, you're welcome.
And say, and like as he's working on the crate, he'd keep like looking over his shoulder. And then he would say, fellas, am I hallucinating at last? And then another soldier would yell back, no. Couple of dames out in no man's land. You see him just do like a blow between the lips, and he says, what is this war coming to? And then he says, how did you get out there?
we are here because we are needed here?
I mean,
Tell me a secret. Where would you be rather than here in this war? What would you, if I could grant you a dream, where could I put you?
he looks for a moment like he's about to burst out laughing or cry. Can't really tell. But then he says, "Pull in, sweetie. I don't want to say it aloud." And he would whisper in the puppet's ear, "Anywhere but here." He says, "Prison would be preferable." He says, "But," and then he says this aloud, "if you were giving me my, my pick, some maybe a feast back home, harvest feast back home. That sounds pretty good. Doesn't it sound pretty good, boys?" You hear a couple of other aye from other soldiers who now that the visitors have dispersed are returning to their posts, some kind of looking guiltily around to make sure that they hadn't gotten snitched on. But as he says this, finally opening up the crate, there we go, and starts to unfurl another giant coil of barbed wire carefully, he would say, "Why do you ask there?"
I wonder. Nobody seems to know where this all started. Or why this all started.
Shrugs his shoulders.
Very low voice.
He says,
Pardon?
Not our job."
Yeah. But if you know why you're here, so you maybe find a way out here.
And as you do so, he goes, "Shh."
Yeah, he already lowered her voice.
Yeah, exactly. He already lowered her voice. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. and as he does so, he would almost mouth to Octi's puppet, "Do you want to get killed?"
Oh.
"I don't want you killed either." And he says, That's treasonous. Careful. Please, careful."
I won't tell anyone.
"Just mind your words. You never know when there's a snitch around." And that's the worst part. Anyone could be a snitch. It's just even if my best friend, I said the wrong thing, I don't blame him. He wants to go home.
So you're lonely in a crowd of people?
And all of us want to get out of here. And the best way to get out of here is to snitch. Or get shot to bits.
Yeah. A lot of ghosts here.
You believe in that?
Yeah.
He shrugs and says, "Well, if they're real, then at least we're not lonely." And if they're real, they're probably really rip shit. I'd be.
Let the puppet hug him.
And you see he tenses up a little bit, kind of awkwardly, and just kind of gives her a little pat on the shoulder.
Because there are a lot of arms there. For a human.
And he would say, "No, what's all this about?" He would pull the puppet back and kind of gently take off his gloves and hold her face like this, and the father to daughter sort of now listen here sort of thing. And he'd say, "What's all this about? Coming in here talking about spooky stuff, offering wishes." He's like, I appreciate it's a kind gesture, but what's it about?"
As you shared a secret with me, we want to get you out here.
Well,
safe and sound.
There's a lot of guys out here who want that too, I'm nobody special. Double it and pass it on.
If all works out, we want to take out all of you.
He shrugs his shoulders, and his mouth is in kind of like a sideways sort of slant. And he says, "That's really sweet. Really sweet of you." He
Did
says,
you have a life before the war?
"Oh
Here.
yeah, I'd like to still have one, but you know, back home, married, kids, career, all these things. Now, I'd like to get back to that. Just about surviving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do the job, toe the line, pray, and maybe make it back."
Survive.
Yeah. And speaking of which, and he says with kind of a wry smile and puts a helmet on the puppet's head, "You need to keep your head down, snipers."
Thanks.
He gives her kind of like a pat on the cheek and says, "Take care of yourself, all right? We need more of you." What would Octi do from here?
Slide away and think about what information he's been given.
Oh yeah. The snitches being everywhere is
And
certainly a very relevant one.
how this noble Crocs force these soldiers into this war.
Yep.
It must be the magic thing because for reasons they're not here.
Yeah. Well, once they are here, the snitching hierarchy definitely keeps them here. Then the from here, however, let's jump back over to Whimsy and then to Shelby. The crook lieutenant is kind of stomping in place, getting more and more irritated at your lack of uniform.
And Whimsy's like, "Well, I'm perfectly happy to change if you have a uniform in my size."
And you see that this kind of takes him aback. He says, "We must. We definitely do. I know that we do. Don't we?" The soldier next to him looks like the answer is no, just like written on his face. But he says, Would you like me to check?" "I wouldn't have said it if I didn't know it was true. Get the uniform." And the soldier goes hustling off. "I'll be timing you." He takes out a pocket watch, which looks like it's been broken for a long time, and presses it, and then puts it back in his pocket. And then as he whips his beady eyes back to you, he says, "So I say, we're going to post you over on Watchtower 3. 3A, sir, or 3B? I said 3! 3. Make a new one if there isn't one."
At the same time, sir.
Yeah. Exactly. See? That's what we want to see. None of this insubordination. He would kind of dig his finger into the chin of the man who just spoke. Both at the same time. Precisely. Precisely. And
Whimsy is over here. This man is going to forget I exist in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And he says, "So I expect to see you up there with those rifles, aiming down towards the hated enemy. And I expect to hear that you've put some bullets through some heads. Understand?"
I shall certainly do my best, sir.
Very good. He exhales, and a jet of steam comes out of his nostrils.
Ooh, that's
It's
new.
like actually hot enough that she can feel it from here. And then he kind of perks upright as though he just made some argument-winning point, turns on a heel, and struts away. You can see that his, you know those like, you only see him in cartoons and nowhere else, the like overalls that have like the butt flap on it? He has one of those like built into his uniform, very conspicuously amongst the fanciness of the rest. But as you are doing so, the soldier who he sent out comes hurrying back, looking over his shoulder to make sure he wasn't timed in a way that would be relevant. And he says, I'm so sorry. We don't have anything that's even close.
I did not think you would, but he's gonna forget in like 3 minutes, right?
He looks relieved and he says, "Okay, you do know. Great." He says, "Just don't let him see you for about an hour."
Yeah, maybe that watchtower is the safest place for me. If not run into him again.
There's a lot of sniper fire that goes there.
Mm. Well, it would be good to get a wider view of what's going on, but
It
I
would be,
understand.
but it's such a target. We have to rebuild it every other day when mortars take it down. It's a stupid structure, but they insist we need them.
I see. And I assume they're doing the same on the other side.
Of
You
course,
mortar
they're
them
doing the
down
same
as
on
well.
the other
Yes.
side, yes. And he says, they had us try to tunnel through the other day, in mud. As he's saying
that
this,
looks so good on paper.
as he says this, the guy next to him hisses, "Careful." And he kind of looks very nervous, but bites his tongue on whatever else he was going to say. He says, "I'd say just keep out of his eyes. They don't talk to each other very much, so..."
Is there just the one lieutenant here?
No, we have... Ignore the lieutenant part. They just make it up every time. He says,
How many crocs?
In our segment, we have 2.
Mm.
But sometimes we get visited by... There's like 4 or 5 sometimes that come in, but usually 2.
And presumably the same on the other side.
I'd imagine so. We took one out the other day, and promptly
did you now?
it healed itself.
Well, who knows what kind of powers its family has.
One of them says, they could destroy the country if they wanted to.
They've decided to do this instead. I guess that's a plus.
You can see that they both don't dare say anything more.
Yeah. Well, where's the best place for me to stay out of sight, do you think?
They both point up the trench, kind of back the way that you came, but they kind of veer off to the side, like just outside of the trench, kind of behind the trench line. Say, we have billeting back there. There's going to be a bit more civilization.
And just so I know to avoid them, where do the officers billet?
Great question. They move it, you see, constantly.
Interesting.
I mean, on one hand, they don't want to get artillery striked. One of them says, yeah, that's definitely the reason.
One last little question. And again, does the head to look side.
Yes, ma'am.
Do your 2 crocs work well together?
None of them do. They hate each other.
Good to know.
The 2 soldiers
Whimsy.
put their helmets back on, which they had taken off respectfully. Take care of yourself,
Whimsy. Whimsy hands back one of the rifles.
Thanks.
I think this will be more useful in your hands.
Do you want... He offers his hand for the other one. It's more of a question than anything else.
Yeah, Whimsy does hand. She doesn't know what she'd do with it anyway.
He nods. And the 2 of them, giving kind of like a, mum's the word sort of sign over their mouths, would turn and move back to their positions up the trench.
Yeah, and I will move in the direction they indicated where the soldiers stay.
Absolutely. This would take you kind of down and behind like a steep embankment. And you can see that there's the customary tent city of soldier billets and camps set up behind there.
Right.
Full view of artillery fire, by the way, and yet presumably they don't get bombed very much. Or if they do, perhaps they rebuild it quickly. There are certainly fewer craters here than there were elsewhere. That said, you would also actually there's another thing you would notice. There's a very conspicuous ammo like munitions depot. That could go up the second it got hit by a shell, and yet seems fine for want of a better term. But as you might imagine, living conditions are absolutely squalid back here.
Right.
It seems like more of a logistical problem than anything else.
And that ammo tent, I presume, looks a little empty to me.
Yes, quite. It seems, judging by the number of crates that have been put out around it, that are now empty, it seems as though, most of what's inside has been brought down to the last shells.
Well, I think Whimsy's just going to walk about this area, sensory and spirit, just getting a feel for it.
Absolutely. And breaking more than a few necks in the process, so to speak, as soldiers like whip their heads around.
Yeah, Whimsy's here to get noticed. That's
Indeed.
for sure.
Now, a couple things that she would note as she walks around. First thing that she would note is that they do have a hospital here. They do have women nurses here, but it's squalid, terribly supplied, and seems more to be like a there, let me hold your hand sort of thing more than anything else. Second of all, you can see that there is a rather large bonfire being put up in the center that for some reason looks like it's not only burning a bunch of like excess crates and useless materials, but there's also a couple of rifles that have been chucked in there, as well as a whole ton, like filing cabinets worth of papers. The next thing you would notice is the officer's tent is very obvious. It's we're going to say more than a little bit nice. It even has wooden floors, which look like they were laid specifically for it. And also has a generator outside that is being like an old mill. You know how old mills were like crewed by like a donkey that would like walk in a circle. It's literally
We got four soldiers in a turnstile.
Exactly, it's being cranked by 4 soldiers in a turnstile just to power it, even though for all you can tell, there's no one inside. In summary, a bit off, shall we say.
Yeah.
Before we go further, Ori, are you about? And if so, we're going to jump over to Shelby.
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Shelby, actions you would like to take from here after the sequence with the flower.
The person mentioned, the young boy mentioned about being brought to a tent earlier.
Yep.
So I guess if she's being led anywhere, right?
Exactly right.
She'll follow.
Yeah, and he would actually lead her to the same place that Whimsy is going, though Ori would, or rather Shelby would arrive just before Whimsy would. You too would see the scene that I just painted out, the squalid military camp that even though I'm guessing Shelby doesn't have like a tremendous head for military logistics, nor necessarily would Whimsy. But
Nope.
Even then, there would be bits that just seem off about it, like distinctly off. Another thing that I would note that Shelby would see that Whimsy wouldn't, just by dint of Shelby having arrived earlier, is Shelby would be able to see the artillery emplacement that is a little bit off to the side of the camp. Given that, there's the periodic booms and blasts of warfare all around, but just as she is coming in, there would be like a salvo put off from the artillery. Though, again, with things just being slightly off here, she would notice that the artillery are aimed north rather than south towards the enemy lines. Lord knows what they're shooting at. Actions that she would like to take as she is brought through this camp to a dingy barrack. You can hear inside the sounds of a little bit of groaning, a little bit of conversation. It seems to be somewhere between a sick bay and like a sleeping area. What would you like to do as the boy leads you there and puts his helmet back on and says, "Can catch some sleep if you want. For what good it'll do you. Sorry."
That's all right. Thank you.
He nods and says, when the supply wagons come in and bring us more ammo, you might be able to, hitch a ride on those and get back where you belong.
It's good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
Says,
She smiles to
thanks
the young
again.
boy.
Of
course.
What's your name?
Shelby.
Shelby. Right, I'll remember that. I'll remember that. And he turns around and trots back through the camp. What would Shelby like to do here at the mouth of this barrack?
Shelby just sighs. Why are you have to list people so young? She kind of mutters that under her breath. As she looks her head around. Am I able to see anyone standing towards the artillery being lined up north?
Yeah, there's quite a few people around it. You can see that there are maybe 7 figures, and even from here, you can pick out the officer among them.
Can I viewpoint the officer?
Yes, you can.
I wanna viewpoint the officer and also use one of my ability perks for viewpoint, being through the looking glass.
Please talk through it.
So what through the looking glass does is when I activate viewpoint, it makes it where I'm able to not have to close both my eyes.
Ooh, cool.
So I'm able to see through the eyes of the target with one of my eyes while my other remains open. And I've done this before on a lot of other missions. I think one that you ran as well, Robbie, which was onboarding.
Very fun.
Yep. And yeah, I actually remember you energy working that. That was awesome. And
to a perk.
As you do so, that's a perfect perk. What sort of things? Well, first of all, paint the scene. You can see that immediately you see a hand kind of swishing backward and forward. And you can see soldiers kind of turning and nodding and hurrying as they go to turn the artillery. Like these are gigantic emplacements, and as such, it takes a lot of work to turn them. But as you're doing so, you can see that the eye of the officer glances down to their palm, where there's like a little crude map sketched, as they're kind of consulting and pointing towards their soldiers. Other things that Shelby will be trying to pick out through this viewpoint.
I want to see what they're aiming the artillery at north.
Yep. Now that they are turning the artillery, however, it's not entirely clear. You can see that the map that is being the officer here seems to be trying to point them towards where their map is facing. But of note, you quickly realize that they didn't draw a compass rose on their map, and as such, the direction it is now pointing is where they are having the artillery point towards.
Shelby just... So they don't know that's not south?
It seems that way, yes.
Well, I'm not going to correct them. Shelby's going to... Her viewpoint. She's gonna enter the barrack.
Yep.
They pay no mind to people who can't tell directions, because sometimes she can't tell them either. Anyways.
As she enters the barrack, she would hear like a, what the? As she enters, there's 2 soldiers who are like tossing cards into a helmet next to each other, like semi-competitive, but clearly like a listless activity of boredom. They both look up at her, and one of them says, "What are you doing here?"
I was led here by one of the other soldiers. Me and my companions were found on what I assume was mentioned no man's land through a misdirection in travels.
Oh. They look at each other and both give like a like a low laugh. That's the worst place you can find. You all right? Are you hurt?
I'm all right. It's not the worst place I've ended up travels by accident. She humors.
One of them says, "Glad I'm not in your shoes then, but maybe you're more glad not to be in mine."
Yeah. What are you 2 doing? She kind of begins to slightly approach.
Yeah. One of them tosses a card, misses, and says, "Killing time."
I see.
Sometimes they forget about, entire platoons.
I see. Huh. She ponders what's going on for a moment. This seems really, this whole thing, sorry, words, this whole situation seems not fun. Well, it's fun to have a statement. I really need to figure out where it's on my.
And
it does not seem very great.
as you're saying this, one of the soldiers goes, shh, 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 and would say, I'd rather be elsewhere, but we're doing our duty. He like looks pointedly at the other guy, who gives like a, oh yeah. The other soldiers in the barrack, while they aren't like obviously looking your way or anything, it's not loud in here. Everyone can hear what's going on, and as such, the guy who initially spoke says, "Your sympathies are very appreciated, ma'am, but this is the way it is."
I see. Okay.
He gives a nervous nod and says, "Do you need food?"
I'll be alright. I kind of just led here, to be honest.
Do you need a place to sleep?
That would be appreciated.
Right. Yeah, we'll keep an eye. Don't worry. And you see that he kind of like pats the sidearm at his side and says, "You'll be protected here. And we'll make sure you don't get wrapped up if we get deployed."
Okay.
One of them would kind of clear like a bunch of junk off of a nearby bunk and say, "There you are," and he would go to hang up like a sheet over the tent peg above as like a little curtain for her. And he would say, "Sleep as well as you can. The artillery is really loud, and so you might want to wad up some beeswax or something to put in your ear."
Okay.
He, as you might
I was
imagine,
gonna go over.
points towards the normal ear place, not even registering that your ears could be genuine.
It's better than being called a furry to her, so that has happened before.
Indeed. What would she like to do from here?
Shelby's gonna go over to the bunk, which is sheeted off, so it like doesn't have sight in it, right?
Pardon me?
Like it's sheeted off, so people can't really see.
Yes, exactly.
Well.
She has full privacy in here.
All right, great. She's gonna go and enter the bunk. She's gonna sit down onto the bed and just. She's gonna gradually get out her ritual knife from where it's hidden on our person.
Yep.
And she's gonna look at it. Down. And I have an idea.
I see. You're skipping out just a little bit. By the way, I got what you just said, but just
I'm sorry.
no problem. Just,
I'm sorry.
I
My
may ask
freaking
you to,
vitality.
no problem. I may ask you to repeat yourself, but please carry on. I did get
All
everything
right.
you've set up to here.
Yeah, I have a idea.
Yep.
Would be really large for you. I want to do a veneer, but I don't know if I'd have to be outside to pull off this veneer.
Let's hear it.
It's a really big veneer. I want to veneer it to appear it's snowing
Ooh.
outside.
That is a big veneer.
It is a big veneer, and that's why I'm blessed for one of my ability perks.
Yeah, talk me through that.
And the ritual knife.
Yeah,
So,
talk me through it.
My veneer ability perk, which is the whole reason she has the trigger she has on her sheet, Paint Your Pain. It allows my veneer to be enlarged by a sacrifice, drawing your blood as additional paint.
Yep.
And also using the ritual knife, it strengthens the ability.
Yep, it certainly does. It's a very hard combo.
Very hard combo, but it's a combo.
Yes. To that end, the question I would normally have is, since veneer wants to be painted on a surface, snow would imply painting on the air to some degree, and having the snow be actively falling, unless you want it to have just be across the ground, which I presume is not what you're going for.
I want it to be actively snowing.
Yep.
And there's another thing I would like to try doing with veneer.
Yep.
But I don't know if that would border into phantasm. Is I would like to veneer it where I don't know if I'm able to make physical sensations with veneer.
Veneer
Would you allow
typically
me to
does not
possibly-
want it, but if you're wanting for like the little bit of like cold kisses of little snowflakes, that is like more doable than like it.
I want to
actu-
make sure.
Hmm?
I want to make it believable. I want to be able to have them be able to very lightly feel the snowflakes.
Yep.
Since they are already, snowflakes are already very delicate and will dissolve on touch.
Yeah.
As
Leaving
well as
tracks
the cold
too.
feeling. Yes, and as well as the lightly cold feeling in the air. This is gonna draw a lot out of Shelby, but it's gonna be worth it.
It sure will. So to give you an idea of the pieces that are tricky here, one, a veneer that is interactive, like footprints. That's one complication. Two, cold, like the cold sensations. That's also complicated. Three, snowflakes actively falling in midair. That is also complicated. But while those things are complicated, I'm not going to say any of them are impossible. It's just going to take an absolute beast of a paired action. And so, can I give you a little bit of time to think about how you'd like to approach this? Making
Yes,
sure that
please. I would love a little time to think.
Yeah. Just make sure
I have
you get
one
all
idea.
those three pieces: the interactivity, the
got you.
movement, and the cold. If you can find ways
got
to
you.
work those into the paired action, and obviously you can make it pretty big, this seems doable. Though it's a very
Alrighty.
very big one.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Now let's jump over to Octi.
I was sensing some smell of burning paper from the huge bonfire there.
Yeah, I
And
could see that you picking up a little bit of a whiff of that. Sure.
Yeah, and I want to move there and see what paper is burning there.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you make your way over, the papers look like they've been pretty recently dumped and are also kind of wet. And as such, they're like not burning super evenly. That said, Octi does not quite have the stats to decipher the exact words, but with 3 pluses to spirit, you can get a feel off of them. Again, imagine these were like filing cabinet things that have been probably like left there and gotten all damp and gross. But you do get a strong sense off of these. 2 strong senses. First of all, you get a deep, I'm going to use the word cruelty here, like a vindictive cruelty. And 2, you feel, and that feels kind of ambient about the fire, but about the pages themselves, you feel a deep tragedy, as though hope was snuffed.
Do I see any of Whimsy or
Or
Shelby
Shelby?
from this point?
I think that by the time that Octi is coming in, Shelby would have already entered that barrack. I think you would spot Whimsy, though.
Can I spot any of these noble
Yes. With your
Man,
sensory stat,
one of
you
the
would,
crocs?
yeah, with your sensory stat, you would not see any croc about.
Good.
Presumably, that means that they're far enough away they could not see you very well either.
So, what's the nearest munition camp?
Yeah, like a large depot or like any ammunition at all.
Depot.
Yeah, you would be able to see a depot. It's a ways past the bonfire, and you can see like the stacked empty crates all around it.
So I'll move there very carefully with the puppet in front and not her getting dirty, and try to find. I want to just what's it called? To make the munition not usable anymore that I find there.
Oh, to like make it into squibs?
Yeah.
Yeah, how would you want to do so?
How would I use my many tentacles and put mud in there where I know that the gunpowder is destroyed by humidity.
Yeah. Now, a question. As you're approaching the munitions depot, as you might expect, before you get a chance to mess with any of it, now that I know your plan, you would see, sure enough, out front, two guards. They look bored, and they look like they don't have a tremendous amount to do, but they are, nominally at least, guarding the depot. What would Octi do, himself or with his puppet, as he approaches?
Hmm. He let her say hello in a very kind and lovely voice.
And the two
What are you
guards,
doing here?
you know, the two guards do the now customary double take of, uh, and one of them would kind of like nudge the other in like a get a load of this sort of way, um, and the one guard would say, um, uh, "We're on sentry duty."
So you have to take care that the ammunition won't walk away?
More or less. He looks to the other one. The other one says, "Yeah, yeah. Make sure and report issues with it." Um, he looks kind of suspiciously at you. Why?
I'm here for that. If you do your job right and fastens the buckle of the helmet,
And they look for a second, and one of them like looks like he's gonna laugh, like, you know.
one of these crooks wants to make sure that you're doing your job right.
They look at each other, and you see the kind of, and again, triple spirit. I can give you more detail on this. You get the sensation as they look at each other of like, yeah, they would send this person to do that, wouldn't they? And one of them says, "All right. Um, how can we help you do your job?"
Just let me look in here if everything is all right with the ammunition.
Deep
I'm
sigh.
very skilled in this.
I'm sure you are, Toots. Knock yourself out. He pulls one of the big flaps to the side and gives kind of like, it's not quite a mocking bow, but it's like a little bit of an over the top sweeping bow to usher you
He
inside.
bows back.
Yeah. And kind of squirms your way inside. You see that as you do so, one of the other guard, you actually can feel like a bit of a like a sudden pull of uncertainty, not alarm, but close to that. And you can see him stooping down to look at the strange footprints that you've left in your wake.
Okay. So, with 3 in spirit, what do I sense what I could do that the both soldiers get in a quarrel?
Well, it's not you wouldn't be able to pick that out precisely, but give me some ideas of what you might be looking for.
So, so they, I think everyone here is not trusting anyone
Yeah.
because everybody could spy on the other person and hang them to get in a better position. So I try to find spirits like that.
Yeah.
And so I
If you say
make some.
something like you'll
Yeah,
gauging their reaction will give you a lot more information in that regard.
okay. Okay, huh. I wanted to do something with the ammunition. But anyways, um, yeah, so I come out of this behind this flap and say, "Oh, everything looks very all right here." So, what could I do? What are you doing at the rest for the rest of the day?
And as you do this, both of them, because you see that they had been like talking to each other, but as you say
Hmm?
this, one of them says, "You're fast," and at that second line, both of them again kind of like rubberneck a little bit, uh, and one of them says, "I think we're we're commissioned back, we're commissioned back to post, aren't we?" And the other one says, "I mean,
So
They
maybe
didn't give us
one goes back to put the commit, and I take the work for him for a while for the post.
Well, you volunteered for that one, didn't you? And
Yeah.
the other he says, yeah. So back to posts. He gestures to the other one, and the other one kind of like tightens his mouth and says, "Nice try, buddy. Not gonna happen. If one of us is getting off, you know who it's got to be." And the other says, "Oh yeah, why?" Well, he says, "Are you forgetting?" He kind of looks like gives a sideways look at you and then puts a hand up to his mouth, though you can still hear him pretty clearly. "Are you forgetting who let you take that 4-hour cat nap yesterday?" The other one says, "Don't play this tit for tat shit with me. You owed me plenty before then. I owed you plenty before then. We're square. If we want to do this, only fair way is to flip a coin." The other one says, "No, we can flip a coin, or we can let the nice young lady choose." I mean, I wasn't the one accusing her of what were you saying? I wasn't accusing her of anything. He points down to the ground. I said it looked strange, like she was carrying chains or something like that. And, well, I didn't say anything that rude to her. Are you carrying chains, madam?
No.
Well, there you go. Don't you look like a fool. So, he claps his hands.
Are the both of them close?
Yes, quite close.
Yes, so let me check. I proceed my ritual knife and put it in the back of one of them and want that he thinks that the other guy is pulling the knife.
How would you time it? Because since they're pretty close to each other as well, and since they've been talking, they wouldn't really have a chance to get a knife to the other one. So how do you want to time it, or how would you want to try to draw them out of position such that that could be plausible?
I draw once out of position, making him compliments and flirting with him.
So, like, talk me through it. How would that look? And which one?
Yeah, I don't have the right idea right now.
Well, let's start with which one. Because between the two, there was the one that was more suspicious of you and the one that wasn't. We can separate them that way.
So I pull the knife towards the one that's more conspicuous of me.
Yeah.
And I think conspicuous in general.
Yeah. And this is going to be with one of Octi's little tentacles. Is this true?
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
is like like snaking like slowly around and about. And is this going to be like a jab in the back, or is this like just holding the blade to him so he feels it, or what?
And in the same moment, I put an arm of another one near my tentacle where the knife is, so that he thinks.
So like is this like a jerk him backwards thing, or is this like trying to be as quiet as you can?
As quiet as I can.
Yeah.
And then just scratching a little bit with a knife and then putting it away. But it looks like.
Yeah.
Could I place the no, I don't want to give my ritual knife to this person.
And as you like make that little move, they both kind of like jump slightly, and the more suspicious one like jerks his hand around towards his back, pulls it back, looks at the blood on his hand, looks around at the other one, and you see immediately his face goes from like shock to suspicion to anger as he says, "What was that for?" The other guy says, "What?" Holds up his hand. "Don't look at me." The other one clenches the bloody hand and says, "I am looking at you." "What was that for? After all we've been through. After all the favors I've cut you, you ungrateful piece of shit." And the other one puts up his hands. Hey. Innocent. I did not touch you at all. And as he's doing so, and the other one is like menacing towards him, He says, What are you playing at then? Who did? He turns around. All this empty space behind me? He looks towards you and says, like sardonically, do you think she did it? And then the other guy says, well, I sure as shit didn't. I did not. Here, if you want, I can take a look at the... And this guy says, as he's like, after he like looked at you, did you think she did it? You see that he's kind of paused. All of the stuff that Octi is doing has made Octi's little illusion a bit harder for these two to stomach. They are definitely, or at least the suspicious one is definitely seeing more. But the one who's not suspicious is still trying to placate him. Here, let me take a look. If you're bleeding on the back, I got to help you out. Maybe a munition went off nearby. But the suspicious one is just kind of staring at Octi's puppet. Even though initially he was being sarcastic, he seems to be starting to think about it.
Octi's puppet is doing a snitch with a ritual knife in her arm. And it's bleeding, and she says, we all bleed the same. Now, who isn't bleeding for you? These crocs. You should all stay together and take your freedom back. This is just working because everybody is suspicious about everyone.
He goes shh, 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 to the other guy who's still trying to like tell him he didn't do it. And he just kind of like tremblingly points towards you. Look. The other guy looks at you. Says, what? And then he looks back. No, look. The non-suspicious guy looks at you again. Don't mind him. You said you're willing to swap in. I'll take it. Don't mind him. He kind of pushes him to the side. He says, you get that cut checked out. I got it. The man, the suspicious one, just kind of staggers slightly, still just kind of pointing. But what is that? And the other guy swats his finger down. Don't point at a woman. Rude. Go get your cut checked out. He slowly walks away, staring and looking terrified.
If he looks back, I want to place Octi in front and the puppet behind to the other guy.
Yeah.
And he rises as a tremendous octopus. Flee.
He turns and sprints through the mud. Whereas the other guy is currently chatting up the puppet. He says, so, it's an easy job. Seems like you have a good head on your shoulders. It took you all of a minute to check out what's going on in the munition stockpile. And he says, and like you said, what we're doing later, not that bad either. He says, normally we'd be posted to the front, but given that you are, working with the family, I'm sure that we might be able to find a more comfortable post. He says, nice and easy. He throws an arm around the puppet's shoulders and says, you need a rifle, don't you? And a uniform.
Maybe, but I'm quite good with a knife.
He says, not going to help you much against a machine gun. He says, I'm surprised the croc let you walk around without a uniform on, though. He says, not that I'm complaining.
If I see there's a rifle there. Or do I see a revolver?
The man who had been stationed at the post when you sent him packing, he did actually forget his rifle here.
Okay, but he only this guy only saw the puppet till now.
Yep.
So, yeah. So it wouldn't make any effect if I show that I could take a shot from a rifle.
Yeah.
Because it's normal that. No, I want to do this. Octi is taking the rifle to the puppet, and he shoots herself in the head.
And the man goes from his kind of casual, flirty disposition to just utter shock.
But then she speaks. So anyways, I
His
don't need a
rifle
rifle.
drops to the ground. And he says, "Oh my God." He kind of like looks at the hole. He says, You're a croc?"
No, I'm kind of bulletproof.
I guess that's
Or
why
maybe I don't believe in the war here. I believe in freedom.
Bulletproof, yeah. I guess that's why they have you in charge of munitions. And he says, "That's a neat trick, though." He again like looks at the hole and he says, "I can't believe it. You're not." I'm guessing that rather than blood, there's like just a little bit of like juice or
Yeah, but the
something.
hole is like octopodes can grow their limbs back,
Yep.
and so the hole is kinda slowly closing.
Yeah. Even if a bit slimy.
Yeah.
And still looking at you, absolutely dumbfounded, trying to work out what the heck just happened. We're going to jump back over to Whimsy. Actions that she would
Hello.
like to take. She has been doing a
Okay.
scan of the camp. And what would she like to do from here?
Okay. Well, two things. First, since I have the kind of sensory that can pick out things, can I see anything in the half-burning papers in the bonfire?
As you would be passing by, they look like official stationery, like they're watermarked,
Yeah.
typewritten. They look like forms. They have some signatures on them. That the signatures are laughably bad, even worse than mine. And as you're kind of looking at it, you have what sensory stat?
3.
That's actually really good here. Okay, you'd be able to pick out a couple choice phrases that would probably give it. These are official terms of service. In terms of, for the next 4 years, X will be conscripted, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And you can see that until such time at which they are released from service, sign on the line.
Right.
All of these are signed and are being burned.
Interesting. And are any of them close enough to the edge that I might be able to snatch one out?
Luck stat?
None.
In that case, no.
What about a sweep of my staff to try and knock one out?
Skill stat.
Also none.
Do you want to take a crack at it anyways?
Nah, it's a new staff. I like it. Okay, next. The next question. When I last went by the officer tent, you said it looked like it was uninhabited, correct?
Yeah, at a guess.
Okay. Whimsy is going to find something just to duck behind to be out of sight briefly.
Not terribly hard to do here.
Yeah. Paints herself with a veneer to look just like one of the other soldiers, her staff now a rifle.
Yep, easily done.
And moves towards the officer's tent as though I'm a soldier with an important message.
Yep, as you're
see if I can
approaching the
decide.
cranking soldiers, one of them will say, "Are you our relief?"
No, just the messenger.
One of them gives like a frown and says, "No one in."
I have an order from Lieutenant Croc. He told me to come here with a message.
One of them rolls his eyes and says, "You know what to do," and gestures.
Hopefully I know what to do. I go in. Anyway, I salute back, you know.
Yep, and the tent inside, it's 2 stories. Let me put it that way.
That's a neat trick. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a full working bath that has been left on, as you might imagine, is spilling water everywhere, contributing to the mud. There is food and drink that has been slobbered all over the place. There are fine, chintzy, like shelong sort of things laying about. It is the perfect combination of decadence and toddler tier cleaning abilities.
Lovely. Well, I already didn't like these people. This doesn't help. All right, so that's all that's on the first floor. I guess I'm creeping up to see what's on the second.
Yep. And creeping your way up towards the second floor, you would see that there are like little curtained sleeping quarters, chintzy, beautiful beds. There's closets full of clothing, all the same uniform, obviously, but there's like 30 copies of each. As well as like there's a record player, like a phonograph type dealio. And there is also like quite a beautiful looking golden harp that stands person height in the corner.
Neat. Okay. So nothing along the... Basically, Whimsy is looking for somewhere you might store correspondence. Anything along those lines up here?
Absolutely. Well, there's a couple things of note. The tables do, or the beds do all have bedside tables, and then down below there were a couple of like large armoires on the first floor.
Okay. Then, since it'll be easier to look for, quick scan of the bedside tables. Anything of interest?
Yep. Well, there's a couple of things of substantial interest. Though that midpoint between being despicable and laughable would definitely be put into sharp relief. A diary in one, but it is, again, childish block letters that have all of 5 words fitting on a page with things like, I ate food, not particularly sophisticated. Same too, you can see that there are like official missives that are written on stationery that are things like, you smell, just like petty insults being traded back and forth.
Lovely. Are they named and signed? Can I pick out? And I know you said the handwriting was atrocious, but can I get the names of the correspondents at all?
It takes you quite a while to figure out what the heck they're supposed to be saying because they can't spell very well either. But you see that one would be like signed by like a captain, spelled like KPTIN or something.
Right.
And then written on the same page would be someone who says that they're a major, and then sent back, and then the same handwriting would have promoted themselves from captain to general. So they just keep escalating.
And they don't even bother with first names. That's unimportant.
Never.
Okay. Cool.
But they would all know how to spell their last name.
Of course. Because if they're not a croc, what are they? Anyway.
Also a number of drawings, typically involving gigantic explosions and desecrations being enacted by some happy stick figure.
Any blank stationery?
Yes, quite a bit.
Grabbing a few of those, stuffing it into a pocket.
Quite. Anything else on the second floor?
Not at present, no.
Back to first floor?
Back to first floor.
They have a working toilet in here, by the way.
Whimsy's not even sure how that would work. But
Indeed.
anyway. Okay, so far all of the orders she's found have just been them insulting each other. Is nobody actually in charge of anything? Like she's looking for like any hint of like somebody with a battle plan, as opposed to we sent toddlers out here with infantry.
Yeah. Where would you like to hunt around on the first floor for anything, if anything?
Well, these are the kind of people that I would expect them to take an important missive like that and use it as a napkin. I'm just scanning the floor for anything that looks like the stationery I saw upstairs.
And that gives you far better information than you had previously. Lots of crumpled up little bits of paper with food on them. And many of these are more official missives. They are written in complete sentences, typewritten. They are competent and actually have relevant information. But much of it has been scribbled out or doodled on or filled in the blank with something else that they preferred or used as a napkin. And oftentimes they just has the big word no scrawled on it.
Okay. On these typewritten ones, are there some like actual names of who's supposed to be these people's superiors, presumably?
You see that all of them are written in deferential terms. Right. And they do have like postings on them. And they're all being written by secretaries.
Right, the people who are really in charge. Okay. All right, so I am squirreling a bunch of those away.
Indeed.
And now
Whimsy is crunching when she walks because of all the paper in her pockets.
Fortunately, my veneers lie for me, which is nice. But yeah, she's got a new objective. Somewhere in this place is an aide-de-camp who's actually doing things for the officers. That's who she needs to find.
Indeed.
Okay.
Where would she like to look for such a person?
At the moment, she's just going to slip out of here. Unfortunately, salute to the donkey people in the turnstile. Wish I could help. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking for the people that are outside the usual chain of command. I'm going to go chat up a nurse.
Yep. The medicine tent is, as you might imagine, quite full. And as you approach, a nurse who is hurrying out with bedpans passing by says, "Pardon me, excuse me."
Yeah, she's holding bedpans. I let her go. Clearly she's in a hurry.
And into the tent, every single one of the nurses has her hands wildly full. Who would you like to try to pull aside, if any?
Let's see. I'm going to assume there's at least one nurse with a slightly more fancy hat. So would be in
you'd
charge.
expect that, but no, there does not seem to be a head nurse here.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. I'm just going to grab the nearest one, and I'm like, "Sorry to bother you. I was supposed to find Lieutenant Croc's secretary and aide-de-camp. I don't even know what they're calling it this week. Somebody pointed me they're in this direction. You have any idea?"
And the nurse goes from hurriedly, bustling around. As soon as you say the word Croc, she snaps to attention, hears you out. She gets a sympathetic look on her face, and she says, "Yes, She pauses for a moment. She says, "You have rather a beautiful voice."
I was supposed to be a singer, not a soldier.
She gives a sweet smile and says, "Well, I hope we can get you back there." And she says, "Right, if you are looking for the..." And she pulls out a little notepad out of her pocket, flips through it a few times, and she says, "Official right-hand penman." And she flips it back. "I think you're probably going to find him over at the radio station right now. They've been trying to get in the new supplies for a while. We don't know where they are."
Thank you very much for your help.
Of course. And she says, "And if you wouldn't mind with that lovely voice of yours, asking if we can get more blood plasma in, because we are out."
She mimes writing something on the back of her cuff. Blood plasma. Got it.
Thank you. And fortunately, the radio station is very easily identified, both for two reasons. One, because it has aerials coming out of it, and two, because there are big, obvious symbols on important buildings, presumably to make sure that the Croc know which ones are which. This one has like a radio picture sticking next to it.
Yeah. I was thinking to myself, to make it very easy for the other side to target them. Anyway.
Indeed, yeah.
So,
You hear a great boom, by the way, as an artillery salvo goes off. This would be Whimsy's like first obvious. Like she knows that there's an artillery embankment somewhere, but now she knows precisely where it is. And would also see that they are facing due west.
Okay. Whimsy has no idea if that makes sense or not. So,
But radio station, once here, it is populated. You hear chattering inside. What would you like to do?
Whimsy's debating if she's better off in her disguise or wandering in with her, oh no, I was lost in the no man's land routine. If I drop the veneer, I have to explain the papers.
Quite.
So then I'm going in as Soldier Bob or whatever I am.
Yep. And fortunately, you can see that the official right-hand penman is immediately identifiable. Finally, someone who's wearing a different uniform.
Nice.
You can see that the uniform is nicer and is less dirty for sure, and is most notable for the epaulettes and also a ruff around the neck, very similar to what the crook themselves wear.
Gotcha.
As you see them, they're kind of like leaning over the shoulder of a radio operator. Can you hear us? Like leaning over the shoulder of a radio operator. What would you like to do?
First off, Whimsy's just taking a moment to take in the scene because she's like read about radio. She doesn't quite know how it all works, so it's just kind of looking about.
Tight rooms, switchboards everywhere, wires going hither and thither.
Okay, so the official term was what, right? Official right-hand penman?
Yes.
Was that the title? I just kind of walk up, salute, official right-hand penman, sir. I was sent from the hospital tent. Any word on new supplies of blood plasma?
And as you do so, the penman would turn around, looking kind of harried, and would say, I did already speak with the nurses about this morning and yesterday. I know it's a serious situation, and I know that not all information can be easily transmitted to everyone all at once. We have a lot going on here, a lot we need to juggle. Please return to them. It is on my radar. I understand that this is something that we need to be working on. However, I have to prioritize as I have been ordered to. Apologies. And he frowns and says, I don't think I know your face.
Well, he should. I stole someone else's. Whichever guard it was that escorted me, that's who I veneered myself as.
Yeah.
If I caught his name, I'll give it.
You did not catch his name, but as you say it, he says, No, Maron doesn't sound anything like that.
Damn, I did find a smart one. So... Oh dear. Okay then. Yeah, I gotta get better with my voices. Yeah, because even with my veneer perk, ear for illusions, the voice of the person's a little much for it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the ear for illusions with the veneer sound like the image painted on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would help a little bit. But given how different Whimsy's vocal register is from like the average GI.
That's fair. Well then, having been rumbled, let's see. The choices are try and talk my way out of this or smoke bomb. So I think I'm going with option B.
What do you want to do?
I'm just gonna discreetly unhook one of my smoke bombs, drop it at my feet, and just gonna skitter around the tent, drop my veneer, and if anybody does happen to find me, I'm with the poor pity me act.
Yep. As you do so, you immediately hear yelling from inside. What the hell is going on? But you hear the penman inside saying, "Calm, non-lethal. I can tell." He says, Lord knows it's not a spy. You think the other side knows how to do that? He says, keep at your posts. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on.
Weirdly magical.
As you've looped around to the back of the tent, and dropped your veneer, you can hear the penman exit. Hello, hello. Come about. I don't believe you can teleport. Maybe you can.
Oh, let's take a chance. Back here.
And after he doesn't say anything, but still kind of engulfed in part of the smoke bomb, you hear his footsteps come round. He comes into view. He's a well-groomed guy, much better than the others. And he says, not what I was expecting, but I don't know what I would have expected. He says, you're no crook, that's for sure.
No, but I'm acting on their behalf.
I doubt that.
That's okay. I doubt you are as well. Because if you actually did what they told you to do, these would be even worse, wouldn't they?
Yes, of course. Given that I presume you are not completely familiar with my role, you can think of us as translators.
You turn Actually, Whimsy just smiles. Do you bother to translate, or do you just do what you think is best?
It is important to attempt to capture the intent.
Must be a difficult job.
I'll take it over getting my leg blown off.
It does keep you off the front lines.
Yes, ma'am. He says, now, how can I assist you? Clearly there is something afoot, and I'd like to know what.
I have heard... Well, I don't need to tell you what morale is like. There's a move afoot just for the briefest of respites. You and I both know it's to the benefit of everybody here. There's got to be a way to make your bosses think it's their idea.
Yes and no. He says,
Go on.
it would be to the great benefit, assuming it was not identified as such. We'd have a massacre on our hands then.
Oh, it would have to be on both sides.
Oh, yes. Much more complicated, too. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm in contact with the secretaries on the other side.
Whimsy smiles. Oh, I thought you might be.
Well, of course. Try to minimize casualties where we can, but a direct order is a direct order.
But you fire the artilleries, but in the wrong direction.
Oh, I don't. I just don't correct them.
I like you, Pensman.
Is that the name today?
So they tell me.
Yes. Well, it's about 2 hours behind schedule. I was promoted recently. He says, again, though, a direct order is a direct order. And it will be a massacre if such things are not obeyed. I will tell you right now, you will not be able to convince them that it was their idea. If there is one thing they know, it is what violence looks like. And what you are describing is not violence, which is the intent of the current state of affairs.
And there's no other voice to which they would listen?
No, of course not.
No higher croc?
They promote themselves at whim. He says, I profoundly appreciate the sentiment, and of course I will keep it to myself. But you must understand, we look for these opportunities. We look for every respite. We look for every wiggle room every piece of ambiguity that could afford a life to be saved as best we can guess it, but not only do we guess wrong, often, far too often. He takes off his hat. But oftentimes there is not enough room to find that ambiguity. He sighs deeply and says, but, again, your intent is very appreciated. And I can try my utmost to find a way to get you back to where you need to be. You are no infantryman, I can tell that you much. And you don't look much like a nurse either.
I've been told to bring comfort a time or two, but no.
As have I. He says, so, what I'd say, hunker down. When the supply wagons come in, we'll get you on those. All right? Get you out of here.
Appreciated. I'll leave you to your balancing.
Yes. If asked, and he would kind of shuffle about for a second.
Mm-hmm.
If asked, and he would pass over a little card.
Mm-hmm.
You are with an entertainment entourage, and you are not to be redirected. That will hold with anyone besides a family member.
She tucks the card in. Oh, one little question.
Yes.
The bonfire. Whose doing was that? All that paperwork.
For the first time, he winces. We're coming up on the 4th anniversary of the war. And it was determined by my ward that the originally agreed upon 4-year contract was insufficient.
They were reneging, of course.
Nothing to renege when they did not negotiate in the first place, I suppose. I tried.
I'm afraid of that.
That's all I will say. I tried. He gives
The
us
new loopholes.
a direct order is a direct order. And he rounds the tent.
Mm-hmm.
Follow-ups from Whimsy before we jump to Shelby.
She's just thoughtfully pulling out some of that correspondence and is trying to figure out, how's her forgery?
Well, you have great sensory. The skill stat, though, is the trick.
Yeah, that's what I'm lacking. But then again, they look
Veneer.
like toddlers through things.
Indeed.
So,
and you do also have veneer if you really need it. Where would Whimsy like to be going?
I think at this point she's trying to find her companions again. She's got a lot of information, but not quite sure how to make it actionable.
And fortunately, Octi is rather easy to find. Before we go further with that, however, let's jump over to Shelby, because I have a feeling it might start snowing soon.
Indeed.
I get it, man.
All right, talk me through it, Ori. What do we got?
All right. So, with Shelby, how I'm gonna do this is when Shelby unsheaths her ritual knife, she will draw out 2 larger cuts onto her arm to make them bleed in order to activate your pain on her veneer. And what I'd like to do in order to try to get more grounding on my veneer while I'm doing this is Shelby's gonna begin humming to the song or similar melody of the song "Happy Xmas War's Over" by John Lennon. To try and encourage the soldiers near her to join her in the hummed caroling, really. To try and have that grounding.
Excellent.
To
Vitality
focus
stat.
on her veneer. Vitality is 1.
Okay, that's something. Okay, carry on, assuming
Something.
that you get a little bit of humming alongside.
I have something. That's great. What I'd also do. So while she's doing the veneer, she's gonna begin. She's laying in the bunk, and she's kind of she's using one of her hands as a ritual knife, the other's with her bare hand, and she's painting like over on top of her, almost. And if needed, I will also draw into an arcane manifestation to pull this off.
All
if
right.
you will allow me.
Keep it going.
With the energy work with the arcane manifestation, along with tons of what the song entails, she's gonna use the arcane manifestation to try to manipulate the weather to draw it to be real. And how I'm energy working this is her reflecting on the past year, the year she joined Enclave. Every mission she's gone on, everyone she has met, her fears, her regret, but also the people who have lifted her spirits, those she considers friends, family, allies. How much the Enclave has affected her, and in turn affected her home. So I'm drawing this all out in order to pull off a decently sized snowstorm.
Okay, and along those lines, the next piece I want to ask about is, given that veneer typically wants you painting, and you are talking about something a much bigger scale than normally would be able to be painted, how are you going to be adapting the paired action for specifically the veneer's painting component?
I'm gonna try and use the blood that's gradually flowing out, kind of connecting with her hands, and she's almost manipulating it. And she's trying to wave her hands as best she can within her private space, try to make it bigger, as she hopes the humming from her song also kind of influences that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm willing to. This is not going to do her well at all, but she's going to pull as much energy as she needs from herself, as long as it doesn't kill her, to pull this off.
What is your will stat?
My will is I have 3 will.
Hell yeah.
And
That's
3 arcane.
really good news.
3 will, 3 arcane, baby!
And as Shelby hums, at first people aren't familiar with the tune, but eventually you hear a few joining in, a few gentle little hums. It's an easy tune. You can repeat the chorus. And as she is doing so, gesturing her hands around, the blood from her arms kind of whips up her fingertips and starts to kind of sprinkle through the air, kind of like daubing some of the sheets around her that are hanging up like curtains for her. And she feels a nip in the air. One of the soldiers, who isn't humming yet outside, says, kind of like casually to another guy nearby, "Bit unseasonable for April, isn't it?" But as he is saying this, you hear another soldier go, "Oh, look at," and you would hear a voice as you're humming just outside of your enclosure. Are you all right in there? There's blood on the sheets." Obviously, it seeped through a little bit.
I can also pull out if Shelby is probably not able to realize that she's being spoken to due to how much focus is pulling off and energy pulling off from this veneer, so she's probably out of it a bit.
Yep, the closest she might feel is a little tug of concern from that plus to spirit.
All right. With all this, does it begin to snow, Robbie?
She is currently unable to tell, but she does feel that her veneer is taking. It's taking.
I was gonna pass out at this rate. Okay. Because
Will
the
she
other
carry
thing
it
with
on?
her, she'll carry it on, but until she passes out. But trying to use her arcane manifestation to make sure it lasts long after her veneer ends. As much energy she can pull from herself, so much blood.
Yep.
And the lovely thing about her singing, her humming, is also serves as an alarm in case she passes out.
Exactly.
To the other soldiers.
I was just thinking that. And as Shelby's voice would quaver, the last thing she is conscious of for the moment is a kind of distant set of concerned shouts and the curtain being pulled aside and herself being picked up. But she would come to again, not terribly long thereafter. She feels herself in someone's arms who's currently running. She hears, as though through like layers and layers of cloth placed over her ears, she hears the muffled shouting, "Someone! Anyone! Blood plasma! We need it!" And you would hear a woman's voice yelling back, again distant and muffled. We're out! We're out! And as, again, Shelby is feeling incredibly just limp and weak and is barely able to mumble anything. What would she like to try to do in this soldier's arms as he carries her throughout the camp, trying to find something for her?
I feel like Shelby no longer has access to her ritual knife.
She doesn't actually know. Like
I don't think she has. I feel like it clattered to the ground.
it probably
anyway.
did, yes.
She'll get. Enclave will get it back, surely.
Yeah.
Surely. Logically, the only thing I could do here is pull off one of my energy drinks, but I am not conscious enough to.
Yeah, more than that, you're a little too weak to right now.
I'm a little too weak too.
Even like reaching and then grabbing and then pulling would be quite a lot for her. Triple plus to will, that's something at least, but it's up to you whether or not you want to try to muster that defiance.
It restored. There's a temporary. Let me go read the fucking. So, okay. From what I understand with the energy drinks, it restores stamina to a point and then it crashes afterwards, right?
Yes, but it also greatly boosts the speed of the user.
That is true.
What are you thinking?
I think that's the best thing to could possibly pull off unless you move to get medical attention right now.
It's a great idea. It's definitely a way to do something.
Is it a good idea though? Is it really a good idea? Maybe.
One thing I will
Possibly.
give her though is that she can feel the gentle touches of snowflakes on her face. She's being held up like this in someone's arms.
Shelby's gonna look like very weakly if she's able to look at the sky. If she's able to.
And that, yes, and that overcast sky that you saw when you first entered is now has like little flakes of snow descending.
She looks up and she smiles and really. And I'm gonna try. I don't think she'd be able to reach her energy drinks.
So what do you want to try?
I'm gonna try staying awake as long as possible.
Yep. The soldier, as he is running, you hear his voice hoarse from yelling. You feel him starting to slow down as he just kind of, somebody, anybody. And then he, like, you feel him reach for your neck, like seeing if there's a necklace there. Where's your dog tags?
Robbie,
Yep.
I have an idea. I'm gonna have to use more. There's blood on the grounds, right?
You don't know. You can't see, but maybe.
I was able to smell it earlier. I was able to
bleeding.
smell it earlier.
Oh,
I was able to smell the blood on the ground
smell it.
earlier.
Of course you would be able to smell
I'm
it.
a fox! What I'd like to use, I'm gonna use the other portion of how I use it, which is blood magic. I want to try pulling the blood from the ground to keep this like a lifeline.
Ooh, paired
With
action.
my 3 arcane.
Paired action.
Worst transfusion ever. Okay.
We're using Emblem, but it will keep me alive! So, Shelby's gonna try, one of her hands is dangling off to the ground, right?
Yep.
She's gonna try and weakly move her hands, which one of them is bleeding, what her arms is bleeding from. She's gonna try to use the blood from her arm to connect to the blood onto the ground.
Oh, I see. That's kind of interesting. Yeah.
She's gonna try and absorb the blood.
And as she does so, you feel him fumbling. He says, "No dog tags." And then you hear him like speak into your ear. "What's your blood type?"
Shelby has no fucking clue what her blood type is.
No way.
My blood type is Q. I don't know.
Red.
Yeah.
There you
You're
go.
the most common blood type. Trust. Actually, wait. In order for me to pull off the blood thing she'd be doing, she'd have to have golden blood.
Why so?
which is the universal donor. Because there's different blood types onto the ground, which would only be able to transfer safely into her body. Sorry, I'm a medicinal nerd.
Okay. All right.
So that's the only plausible way that would keep her alive stably.
What's her luck stat?
Her luck is 1.
I will give it
her
to you.
luck is 1.
That
I
said,
am playing it today.
yeah. That said, I will throw in a slight complication,
Oh god.
which is, as we've mentioned, these people were using a lot of blood plasma, which, as you might imagine, doesn't quite take the same as to blood magic, so to speak. And so, as Shelby is trying to draw up what little drops she can find, there's going to be a lot that's incompatible because of blood plasma. However, it's the faintest lifeline. It's like a drip in a desert.
If it can keep her long enough alive so she can ping out, emergency ping out if need be, then it's going to be worth it.
There's something there, though.
Because, oh god.
And as she does so, she also feels the soldier beginning to handle her arms. And she feels like a distant pain as he's tourniqueting her arms. As he's doing so, she can kind of hear him muttering, but she can't tell what he's saying. But she does still feel snow on her face.
Oh no, wait, are my allies able to see me like this?
We will see that in a moment. But before then, let's jump over to Octi and Whimsy. Octi, before Whimsy joins you, you were with the soldier outside the munitions dump, munitions storage, who is still like completely dumbstruck by that feat of survival he saw the that little puppet pull off. Actions you would like to take from here?
Don't worry so much about me being bulletproof. You can't pick it up. Sorry, I can't teach you. But you're all brothers in arms here, and you should fight against the crocs, not against each other.
He says, I'm not going to dob you in for that, but that can get you killed.
And at that moment, I hear the melody.
Yeah, the
Shelby's
distant
song.
humming. Yeah.
And I pick it up and
Yep.
pick the spirit of the song up
Easily.
and hum it along.
And you can see that just as he kind of like looks at you, still more weirded out than anything else, he kind of shrugs a little bit and starts to hum along softly. But this would be the point that Whimsy approaches Octi and the soldier. Actions Whimsy would like to take as she comes into sight of the, from her perspective, rather ludicrous scene before her of the giant octopus kind of sequestered against the ground, puppeting the cute little blonde.
And the puppet has a hole in its head, right?
Yeah, a pretty subtle hole, and it's quickly getting smaller, but still visible.
And it's snowing, like on top of everything else.
The very first flakes are starting to descend.
Would Whimsy recognize a veneer when she sees one?
This is the weirdest veneer she has ever seen. But it is indeed she has a plus to spirit, I think. Is that correct?
1 plus the spirit, 2 to arcane. So
Yeah.
I know random magic-y crap is going on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. She can feel the veneer, but it is a very unusual flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That flavor being iron. Anyway. So Whimsy approaches, sees the soldier. I've just had a very interesting conversation, Octi. We should consult.
The soldier rubbernecks once again, and he says, I'm going to have a heart attack if another pretty woman jumps out of the blue.
Oh, you.
Just keep humming. We're back in a minute.
He looks like he's about to pass out or something just from all the weird things that have been going on. Does Octi want to beckon Whimsy into the quiet and peace of the munitions tent, or do they want to go elsewhere?
And in the same moment, I'll light one of my altar lights
Mm-hmm.
and wanna look at what it does with a soldier.
Oh, that's a really interesting
Because
question.
because it has an effect on the magic of the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's under a spell.
Yeah, and as you do so, ultralights typically like to have a little bit of time to work.
Mhm.
Do you want to like
Yeah.
leave it next to him and then move elsewhere, or do you want to stay close enough that you can be holding it near him?
Yeah, the second one.
Okay.
Second
In that case, probably just
version.
inside of the flap of the tent is the best place.
Yeah.
And as the two of you would enter
So
inside, the stench of gunpowder and explosives all around you.
Yeah.
Actions between Whimsy and
I was
Octi.
going to say, so just to be clear, we've just brought an open flame into a munitions tent.
Oh no,
And
no!
I've
Octi has a tentacle like
it's
poking
outside.
just outside.
okay.
But yes, I agree.
Just
No,
like a chandelier tentacle out of the tent.
Got okay. Okay, Octi. I've met the Crocs. I've seen their correspondence. And I just pull out the kindergarten scribblings. I know the Enclave told us they were stupid. They buried the lead. These are the
but
most
how could this
powerful
work for us?
imbeciles I have ever seen. No,
I'm so
no, it
sorry,
does not make.
Barbara. Could you repeat yourself very briefly? I didn't hear that.
But how could this work for us?
Yeah.
That's the problem. They are. They would have to be smarter for me to get them to do something stupid. Okay. But
So
what I have
we
found
need
out.
to make them smarter.
Here's what I found out. They've got actual intelligent people trying to translate their ramblings into orders and keeping this camp together. They're talking
The
on
ones that
both
doing the real
sides.
work.
Yes. But they're
Yes.
talking to each other. They're pointing the guns away from each other as much as possible. But they cannot. But they can
I already
only
saw that.
obey direct orders. And Whimsy pulls out the blank sheet of paper. So let's come up with some for them, shall we?
Yeah.
So it's like, you any good with a pen?
Yeah. I'm very good, and I already have ink with me.
Oh, yeah, didn't even think that. Cool.
Does Octi have a skill stat?
Yep.
Oh,
One.
really? Perfect. That's
Yeah.
actually great. Like to do a plausible croc scribble. Yeah, a plus to skill is probably all you need.
And
Yeah, so I do, and what?
it's like,
What should I
okay,
write?
Whimsy's trying to bring
War
it all
is over now?
No.
Exclamation mark? Exclamation mark?
They will never believe that. These idiots only know violence. So
how do you want to
Best I
try to
think we
misdirect them?
best I think we can do right now. It's snowing. Right on here. Unknown weather magic in error in an area. Pause all things until we can get to the bottom of this. And see if we can get them to enforce it on both sides. Get them that base level of everyone doing nothing for a bit till the weirdness goes away. Okay.
Yeah, like winter, like Christmas magic.
Now, along those lines, though, those were a lot of big words.
Oh
Yeah.
Strange thing in sky.
But with one intelligence, I can break it down to more simpler words.
Yeah. So in
I'm
this
figuring
case,
like we're on the third draft. No, dumber.
yeah, exactly.
And as I do that, another tentacle is doing the scribbling you told me of, and the words, but stroke through and then put another word over it
That makes it more authentic. Yes.
so that it looks
Really
like
would.
a first
Put a
grader
blob
would
of
have written
mustard on
it.
the bottom. There we go. They'll
Indeed,
believe
yeah.
that.
And so, given that the idea is there's unknown snow magic in the area, Paul's hostilities until we can figure out the source,
Right.
let's see how we can simplify that down.
Yeah.
Snow, bad. That seems like a good start.
Yeah.
No, unnormal.
That's
Stay
even
inside.
better. Snow unnormal. Stay inside.
You know, that might be enough, right? Like we could just probably stop right there.
Oh, there's actually there's another piece that Octi could pick up, given the spirit stat. Whimsy showed all of the missives. Almost every croc missive is a dig at another croc. And so, how can you spin this to be an insult to whoever reads it? Because you have the snow magic, the stay inside. Where's the dig?
Maybe as simple as must be dumb cousin. You know, because surely somebody on the other side does ice magic. You know.
But that's not a dig at the recipient. And all of these are
No.
digs at the recipient. So you could do it like oh, you did it. But that's less of a dig and more of an accusation, which will probably just make them try to kill each other even more.
True.
So what's a
Well-
way that you can make it a dig and an insult?
Okay. So in this scenario, this is we're saying this is from one croc to another croc, right?
Yes, all of these missives are from one croc to another croc.
Okay. Then
Do a
something
watermark where croc isn't spelled right, because that's the only thing they know how their name is spelled right, and every other writing is full of grammatical and mistakes.
Yeah, or maybe just something as simple as, you too stupid to notice sky. Had to give
Yeah,
order
yeah,
myself.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're wondering if this is right, then you're too stupid.
Yeah, snow magic and snow magic. Stay inside. Duh. Or like
Maybe look up, stupid.
look
you know?
up, stupid. Yeah, exactly. And so, after doing several refinings of this to the point where it is so terrible that it could be plausible, how many copies of this do you want to make, or versions of it rather?
Well, my thought on this one is, as long as we get one into the hand of the pensman, he can make sure it gets where it needs to go.
So you only need the one.
That's the idea. I mean, we'll make a few because we have 3 that didn't quite
Yeah.
work anyway. But yeah, that's the idea. We get one
And
to
I
him.
think I can do
does
2
the
to 3 simultaneously with my tentacles.
Yes, actually, that's a fair point too. And they don't need to be particularly good either, because good Lamau. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you've created these pieces, these works of great art. Anything else that you two would want to say to each other before leaving the munitions depot?
Okay. I hope this works because I don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
In fact, I think this is plan L. Okay.
But we should keep on humming and spreading the melody and the spirit of the melody.
Dear.
Yeah, somehow I know this is Shelby's play. I'll try and back it.
Yeah. And do you sense this as well, that the humming is getting fainter and fainter?
I
Maybe
think
she's
she's
in
poured
danger?
herself into her work again. I'll try and find her.
Yeah, I join you.
As you leave the munitions depot, I would say Octi would now seeing the soldier notice something that I could maybe see being more disturbing than anything else. No magic at play. Just intimidation.
Just fear.
Anything else that Octi would like to do here? Or would Octi like to accompany Whimsy out across the camp?
Yeah, he likes to accompany Whimsy and lose out the candle.
Yeah, as Octi is doing so, the soldier would say to the puppet, "Off already?
Yeah,
Off to be bulletproof somewhere else?"
yeah.
And he looks to Whimsy and says, "You're not bulletproof too, are you?"
Not one of my many talents, I'm afraid. I bet you'd like
Hope
to
we
do
see
anything
us
to...
again.
I was going to
Hope we see us
ask,
again with the spirit.
I'm just thinking in my head, do I want to be delivering this, or can I get this strapping young lad to just run this over to the radio tent for me?
There is a lot of
Stand-
explanation that goes with it, of course.
True. I'd better hand deliver it myself.
Yeah,
So.
it's a good question though. As you guys are leaving, the soldier would kind of wave somewhere between reluctantly and relievedly after you, and call out to Octi's puppet, "Stop by sometime. It was good to meet you, if not strange."
Hope we see us another time where the spirits are brighter.
And as you do so, that you would both realize that the humming has at this point mostly died down. You would hear people running about, you'd hear yelling, you'd hear calling, but also the snow on the ground has accumulated way faster than it should. Another obvious sign of the illusion at play. And Octi is leaving great tentacly tracks behind the puppet. Actions the two of you would like to take, or are you just going to be hurrying across towards the radio center as fast as possible?
Sure. Yeah.
Whimsy, your thoughts?
Yeah, at this point, I'm planning to just try and get to the radio station. If Octi is following me,
Yep, the two of you are moving.
then I'm going to do the arcane equivalent of hiding your tracks while hunting. I am going to veneer behind her.
Yep.
To either with phantasm or veneer, whichever makes the most sense. You just paint
Veneer
over the
for
track
sure.
that she's leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and as you are doing so, it's an excellent idea, pretty necessary, frankly, because as you guys are going out, Octi would notice something about the climate. Even though it is snowing, it's not cold enough for snow. It's cold, don't get me wrong, it's cold, but it's not freezing temperatures, and you know this because you are still nice and moist in the mud rather than having all of the nice moisture freezing. And so there's again these tells that make it clear that it's an illusion. And yet, it still seems to be working at least reasonably well enough on everyone else. Many of the people who are still trying to go about do their duties are pausing to look up at the snow, or pausing to look around or remark to each other. But as you guys are approaching the radio tent, Whimsy would be the one to spot Shelby. There's a soldier who is holding her a little ways away, desperately trying to tourniquet her, and you notice her not from her herself, but from the trail of fresh blood on the snow that leads right up to where she is. It would deviate from your path to the radio station.
yeah, and deviate Whimsy does. She can't ignore that.
Octi, would you go with her?
When I see her and she's like just fainting away, I think I draw my knife and injure myself so I can give her my blood to help her.
And a question then. Is this going to be the puppet drawing and wounding the puppet's body, or is this going to be Octi actually hurting
No,
himself?
this is Octi actually hurting himself.
And the other question is,
Poor.
Octi obviously doesn't have, human blood. He has ichor or some such thing. How
Yeah,
is he going to
maybe
try
looks
to...
like ink.
Yeah, how is he going to try to convert this somehow to something that Shelby can use? Because as you get closer, both of you would notice, even though the soldier doesn't, the thin, spidery trails of red that lead up from the snow towards Shelby's open wounds. While you're thinking, Whimsy, if you have any
Yeah,
actions too, you can jump in with it. Because it's a tough
Um,
question, but I'd love to hear it in a moment.
At this point, the only thing that Whimsy can think to do is kind of start going through Shelby's pockets, because agents have all sorts of weird things. And if I recognize any of them as a healing device from any of the things he's watched in the Omnitorium, she's going to try and get one down Shelby's throat.
Yep. And as you are approaching, the soldier who is busily tourniqueting Shelby would look up, initially gruffly, "What are you?" and then pauses and says, "Are you two with her?"
We are. And she often carries things in her pockets that might help. Please, let me look quickly.
Well, he holds up her revolver and says, "She was armed."
Not that. Okay.
He says, "We found her just... It looks as though she had carved herself open. Why would she do such? Has she been driven mad by the war?"
Something like that.
He gives a rattling breath. He says, "Poor lamb," and goes back to trying to get her arms bleeding under control. And Whimsy would find a couple of things, some strange red crystal-looking things, the bandolier, a hand mirror, and then, what do Shelby's energy drinks look like, Ori?
They are essentially camouflaged Red Bulls. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. She drinks Red Bull or Bull Red.
Yeah, and so you would find cans of liquid.
And Whimsy has been on a mission with Clara. She knows what those are. So I crack one open and try and bore it down her throat.
And as you do so,
Slowly, of course, because I'm trying not to choke her.
the soldier says, "What's that?"
If we're lucky, something to replenish some fluids.
And as you are doing so, Octi, any thoughts on how to make your ichor something?
Octi is thinking that it can tarnish as an octopode, and so thinks that his blood tarnishes, and thinking about the blood, thinking about the war, the monster of the war that's bleeding in the snow, and so that his blood is turning red like human blood.
Ooh, that's cool. Now, something that has struck me about Octi is that he seems kind of sweet, to be perfectly honest. Like, much more than I would have guessed going in.
Yeah, the puppet is sweet.
Yes, indeed. What is Octi's his own emotional state here? What is this like all right, I want to protect this thing because it's my job, or is there other pieces to it beyond just this is my job?
Yeah, the first thought was that he killed all the crocs himself, but found out that is impossible, and so thinks that if he helps Shelby with her magic, he will get an opportunity to kill the crocs.
Aha. Yeah, so this is a predatory instinct. It makes perfect sense too. Yep. And as you are doing so, you described his blood as black, like inky. As Rich pointed out, yeah, octopus blood is blue, but I think given that Octi is not any normal octopus,
Indeed.
Yeah,
the black makes
not
sense
quite.
here. And as you are doing so, correct me if I am wrong, Ori, but Shelby is not your normal mortal either. Is this correct?
No, she is not. She is a very weird mix of mortal, undead, and partially divine.
And as Octi's blood spills and changes color slightly and commingles with the thin veins running from Shelby's arm, as the drink pours into her mouth, she would have her eyes just snap open, right? Wide awake. So too would she suddenly feel a painful rush in her arms, like pins and needles all up her arms, like severe ones. Maybe
That's not
enough.
fun.
Pardon?
That's not fun. Continue.
Yeah. Maybe even enough to make her gasp. But also, and even twitch in the soldier's arms. And Octi would be the main one to notice that Shelby, after absorbing his blood, is alert. She's moving. She looks like she could even clamber back to her feet. But you would also feel a taint in her. This would be Octi's first realization that Shelby is no normal mortal. And while she is up and about now, there is something strange that happened there. And to Ori, I will say that Shelby has been corrupted outside of any ability use.
Oh, crap.
Corruption always starts small, but it gets intense over time. So you can have some time to think about how it would look. But now that Shelby is on her, able to move and act and do stuff again, she can see Whimsy over her. She can kind of hear Octi just a little bit off the side. And the soldier, who's still holding her, says, relieved, "You're awake!"
Yeah. Oh. She's trying to catch her breath.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sets her down and says, "Careful with those arms. They were sliced to ribbons. I have no idea what you were doing there."
Right. Okay. She kind of sits up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She looked up at the snowing sky and slightly sets her head out and mumbles, "It worked."
The snow lights in her hand. And the soldier says, "What worked?"
Nothing. I think it's just something dazed from me in whatever state I was just in.
And he looks nervous. Whimsy and Octi, follow-up actions now that Shelby is awake.
At this point, Whimsy's just going to get back to her feet, grab her staff. Okay. Now that we've got her stable, I have a message to deliver.
Is Whimsy going to start
Be
moving
back
towards
shortly.
the radio tent?
Yes, I am.
Octi, actions you'd like to take. Are you going to be accompanying Whimsy, or are you going to be staying with Shelby? What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm accompanying Whimsy.
Certainly.
Accompanying Whimsy.
Shelby, what would you like to do? Even though your body is thrumming with all sorts of unpleasant sensations, you are able to be on your feet, and if anything, are full of energy. I don't know. Imagine both having a really awful flu, and also you have to walk around. You need to get out of bed.
That's so really. She'll looks into her to walking too. Then she stands up herself, kind of wobbling a bit.
Yeah. The soldier
Thank
quickly takes her to help her not fall down.
you. Well then. She's just kind of she's trying to keep her grounding, keep herself alive,
Yep. And the strange thing about it is she feels much. She's in pain. It's uncomfortable, but she does feel alive. In fact, she feels kind of uncomfortably alive. The world feels crisper than it was before. She doesn't feel all those muffled strangenesses. It's as though it's as though you made a 144p YouTube video jump to 4K in the set of a single click.
He's
and so-
feeling pixelated.
Yeah, exactly. And so, what would she like to do from here? After like, or is she just going to try to like stay with the soldier and try not to go like weird and do something
In
stupid?
order to, having the feeling that her Al is trying to do something, she doesn't want to blow their cover at
Yep.
all.
Absolutely.
So she's gonna stay with the soldier.
Yep.
Trying to recombobulate herself.
Yep. Absolutely. The soldier, doing his diligence, is trying to tend her as best he can. But in the meantime, Whimsy and Octi hurry over to the radio tent. You can see that there's a soldier posted up outside of it who would give like a little salute. It says, "Excuse me, no admittance."
Whimsy produces the card she was given. I'm just looking for the pensman. Is he about?
And he goes, "Oh, yeah, of course, please." Not even.
And I step in and basically just wait and see if he can catch my eye and just kind of make the head nod of, can I see you for a second?
Doesn't take much to have him catch your eye. Octi, will you be like entering the entrance alongside Whimsy, or are you going to be staying just outside?
I'm entering, but just with a girl,
Yep.
and the rest is standing behind.
Absolutely. And as you do so, the pensman looks over, gives a nod.
Yeah.
"Carry on, I'll be right back." And he marches out, and he comes up to you, and he says, "Hello. We still don't have any word from the resupply, so I'm afraid I can't get you out any sooner. I presume that you two work together." And he says to the puppet,
We do.
"In that case, to say the same, I'll try to get you out as soon as I can on the next resupply wagon that comes in."
Oh, understood, pensman. I just thought you might be able to make use of this.
And he takes it, raises his eyebrows,
Orders are orders.
folds it neatly, and looking about, he looks over towards a radio operator. Most of the radio operators have earphones on, right? But one doesn't. And he says, "Excuse me, enter station, begin patching me through right now, please." And as soon as the man puts on his earphones, he says to you, "This is incredibly dangerous. I'll have you understand that forgery is not only punishable by death, but it's punishable by your line's death."
Well, then it's a good thing you haven't forged anything, isn't it?
But he gestures, "If this is found out, then the both of you..."
We'll take that chance.
Octi nods.
You see him trying to process your confidence. And he says, "Right, so you can say authoritatively that this is not in fact a forgery, and if any implication were to come out that that was the case, then you would be taking whole and sole responsibility for it?"
Correct.
"Very well." He pops it open. He says, "You were thorough. There's a couple copies after all." And he says, "Well, in that case, I think we have some messages to send. Thank you very much, madams."
My pleasure, pensman.
He moves towards the radio operators. He says, "Gentlemen, off." He gestures to the headphones. "Yeah, what's up, sir?" And he turns the things around. He's trying not to smile, and the radio operators
I will leave
look.
him to his work.
You hear them cheering quietly as you guys leave the tent. As you've done so, Octi, your body outside would see that the guard post up outside, given that you are outside, your puppet is in, he can't help but notice the fact that the flap is just a little more open than it should be. And he's trying to figure out why the heck that could be. Not quite able to figure out that your tentacle is the thing causing it.
Maybe just one of it lurked a bit outside.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You see that he keeps pondering the large mass of octopus that is there and trying to figure out what the heck is casting that shadow.
Mm.
But at this point, Whimsy and your puppet would come outside, and he would, everything all right?
Oh, everything's fine. Thank you all.
And he says, very good, very good. And he would hear the cheering from inside. Says, the dickens is that about? Stick his head in. And as he's doing so, where do you two want to go? Are you going to stay by the radio tent, or are you going to move away?
Well, I'm not going far. I'm going to go over to where Shelby's lying, because one way or another, all three of us will need to be together.
Yeah.
And Shelby, back over towards you. The soldier gently tending you as best you can. You standing there trying to get bearing with you, within yourself. And the corruption is taking hold. So I'd like you to think about, of course, how that would manifest for her. What will Shelby do at this point?
Shelby is slightly shaking. She's trying to manage herself, because she already has issues with being vampiric, which has sent her in a frenzy before, and she's scared that will happen now.
That sounds like a very accurate effect for the corruption to have, then, I would imagine.
That happened 2 missions ago, by the way. This is a normal thing with Shelby.
Yeah. And because of that, what would she do, especially with this soldier right here, trying his best to help?
She's gonna try defying it as long as she possibly can until she can get out of here.
How is she going to defy it? Because as soon as you said the word vampirism, with blood everywhere, and it not being hers, / being Octi's, which is not palatable to a vampire, there's a human right here, right, who's helping you, who's trying to help, whose neck is exposed. How will you defy it?
She's gonna try looking her head away, and she's just gonna try and gently shuffle herself away. Because remember what I said, she's not fully a vampire, she's not fully undead.
Yep.
She's a weird conglomerational mix. I love her.
And as she's shuffling away, turning away, he, of course, is concerned. What's going on? Are you all right? And he would shuffle back into place to try to help her more, to try to get her to take her face. Is everything all right? Are you seeing things beyond? Maybe I can help you to lie down something. Before, when you did that, you slashed yourself open.
I just need a second by myself.
He says, but we might not have a second. You lost so much blood.
I just need to get my bearings together, please. Her ears kind of lower on her head.
He says, of course, but you're low on blood. You won't be able to get your bearings. It's a miracle you're on your feet. Every time he says the word blood, she hears her heartbeat in her ears.
I'll just be a second. I just need to be alone for a sec.
Remind me your will stat.
My will is 3.
If it was any lower than that, I'd have you bite him, for sure.
Thank God bless will stats. I've learned my lesson.
And
I've learned my lesson.
Yep. And as Shelby catches sight of Whimsy and Octi moving towards her, you guys would hear the PA system for the camp. Attention all soldiers! Stand at attention, muster in the foreground. And then after another moment, frontline units fall back. And you guys would feel your Enclave badges ping. As the group reconvenes, Shelby tweaking. That's awesome. Final actions. We will begin with Octi.
Octi, oh, sorry.
No problem.
Octi picks up again the song and the melody
Mm-hmm.
and humming and singing along. So this is the time of winter, of cold. We have to stand together. We have to get rid of the crocs, and the world will be a better place. And pinks out.
And as Octi is humming, the soldier, who is still trying to help Shelby, but has given her some space after she has said it, starts humming the tune again. He was one of the first ones who heard her humming it in the first place, after all. Shelby, final actions.
She looks to Whimsy, who's still here, and just kind of mouths since the soldier is near her. I can't believe that worked.
A Christmas miracle.
Yeah. Yeah. She smiles to Whimsy. And she smiles to the soldier. And then she'll ping out.
And the last thing that Shelby would see is the soldier's face going from deep concern to profound surprise as she vanishes before his eyes. And Whimsy, final actions from you.
Just a quick word to the soldier. Worry not. She will be well. And for a day or two, so will you.
Am I dreaming?
No, but no one will ever believe you, I'm afraid. And she pinks out.
And on that note, we will end the mission. Woo!
Can't believe that worked.
Well, you guys managed to grab a couple of very important keys there. One is you learned how the Croc interact with each other. Two is you preyed upon the fact that the Croc are the only magic users in the area. And so, and let me put it this way, a magical snow is not really their thing. So by giving them something to think about and worry about, it does a good job of fulfilling the terms of the mission, especially once you got someone on your side on the inside. That was tremendous.
Indeed.
Before anything else, do you guys have questions for me about calls that I made or the plot of the mission?
Thank you for not killing Shelby. I was very convinced she was gonna die. But she didn't.
I will say right now that was the single largest essence expenditure on a single veneer I have ever seen.
I can't believe that works still.
Yeah, because like normally veneer's upper cap is about like a house. That's how I would look at it. And this was hundreds of houses worth of space. Admittedly a simple veneer, but a vast area. And that combination of your perk, plus your ritual knife, plus like pretty strong energy work, plus just 3 wills worth of essence. It got there for me.
I learned my lesson with when having a lot of will. It's recommended. I learned that when fighting God, so up to do.
Yeah. Do you guys have questions for me about calls that I made or the plot of the mission?
No, not really. I just want to say I very much enjoyed.
Join your Just give us your ideas. What the buzzwords?
Oh yes, I will jump to the focus words. Oh, sorry, Rich. What were you saying?
Oh, all I was going to say is I love the idea of the Habsburgs, but magical.
Yes,
that was very nicely done.
That is precisely what they are, and I've actually the Croc are something I have played with before. They're just so fun. I love having I love having layered, gray, nuanced villains most of the time. So having just cartoonishly awful villains can be really enjoyable from time to time. And especially because the focus words that I got were so good. You know, such sweet. I was like, let's stick it in the face of one of the most awful villains I've ever made. You know? Focus words. Herald of Hope plus Joyful Gift. those synergize so well and immediately made me think of Christmas, especially Joyful Gift. And then that Christmas idea plus Soldier Boy made me think of the Christmas truce. And I was like, I can think of I could not get the idea of the Christmas truce out of my head. All 3 focus words put to it. Herald of Hope, Joyful Gift, Soldier Boy, all of them put together towards it.
The Christmas tree.
Sorry,
I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you.
no problem, please.
The Christmas tree from 1914 was the whole idea of what my veneer was going towards. Actually,
Yeah,
I had to
exactly.
look. Yeah, I love history.
Yeah, the Christmas truce of 1914 is awesome. I watched a documentary about it a couple months ago, and it's just an incredible story.
It is indeed.
And so every one of these focus words, I just bang on the money Christmas truce. Like there was nothing more complicated than that about it. It was just, that I need to do the Christmas truce, but I'm not going to give them snow. Which ended up being really consequential because you made your own.
Let it snow.
Because I was like, I don't want it to be like so obviously just the Christmas truce. I'll make it in April, and also because Octi would.
I made it obvious.
Yeah, Octi would have dried out.
I wanted to have, I wanted to have it humid there.
Yeah, exactly. So, the other like little things I would note is the term Herald of Hope also reminded me of the Croc because they're obviously their secretaries are like their heralds, so to speak, are trying to make them not ruin everything. And so that reminded me of that as well. Plus, when I thought of the term Soldier Boy, I obviously thought of child soldiers, which is something I have established that the Croc have no problems using at all in the past.
Of course.
And then also on top of that, with the idea of Joyful Gift, that actually gave me the idea of the camps being these kind of isolated sections of trenches that hadn't been supplied in a while. And I was like, okay, that will put them in like more of a compromised position such that it's slightly more feasible to negotiate something. Because the Croc aren't going to like not shoot the gun if they can't, like unless they can't shoot the gun, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's fun having, they're a fun villain because they're just so cartoonishly awful in every way. And they're set against the absolute like horrific real destruction that they cause. And are completely oblivious to it. So, pardon me, Barbara, what were you saying?
But not being that intelligent, how did they implement their reign in the first way?
Yeah,
Just
that's
with
something
their
that's
magic,
something I've
or
never established before. I've left it ambiguous. The way I'd probably put to it is that the Croc were at some point a very powerful, normal ruling dynasty that were really heavily magical, but they didn't want other people to get their hands on their magic. And so they just...
before their lines got into circles,
Yeah, exactly.
the bloodlines.
And so then eventually, how do you make it so that no
when
one
it's
else
established,
inherits their magic? They just only marry each other, and eventually they become just imbeciles. They become utterly incompetent imbeciles who are just walking nuclear warheads that everyone has to tiptoe around, or otherwise they'll just evaporate you. So it's a very fun villain because I don't often get to play just unambiguously evil things. Excellent questions. To go through all of you real quick, first of all, Octi, that is one of the most unusual character skins I've ever seen in my life. Like, going in, I was like, wow, that sounds like turbo imbalanced. How can that work? And I got into it. And I was like, okay, I see what we're going for here. I think that Octi will really come into his own. I'm glad that you started him with some conduit credits, because I think that at level 1 it wouldn't have made sense. But leveling, he'll come into his own even more as you put more points into him. But I really like the gimmick. It's really cute. I think that you should get Mr. Sock off of the oddball. The signature off of the oddball, Mr. Sock. It's just like a perfect skin for your puppet. He's a fun character. Just not what I expected at all. When I looked at the sheet, I was like, oh god, that's really interesting. The resilience is really cool. I like that you did that. I definitely tech deeper into that to represent his regeneration and stuff like that. The spirit play that you did was very solid. Very solid. I liked what you did with your +2 intelligence and your +2. You have a luck plus, I believe, as well. That came in a lot. So you just did great stat play, and it was fun to explore.
Could get handy.
It was fun to explore the logistics of this weird character.
I thought about if I should take the Shadow Blade as the octopus.
Yeah, I think it works actually because that way it can be like some dark tentacle that you bring out and like smack
Yeah,
people with.
yeah.
Yeah. Is I can't wait to see
And
him use Embrace
if I would have
Darkness.
fighted with one of the crocs, the old one would have come out of the sea
Yeah.
and starting a real fierce magical
Yeah.
fight.
And I think that
Mhm.
the temptation to fight the Croc was like very
Mhm.
present on this mission, but as you
Mhm.
might imagine, they don't care about collateral damage. And
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
if you were to fight them,
yeah,
they just blow up everything. Like they
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
um so yeah, it was a really cool character, and props to you for
Mhm.
making something that on its surface just looks completely unfair, like actually
Mhm.
work. Fun dynamic with the
Thanks.
team. Then Shelby, I first saw Shelby on her first ever mission, and I have not seen her since. I don't believe. Um,
Yeah.
she has grown so bloody much. The stats are awesome. The gear is awesome. The perks are awesome. It's just so fun getting to see her again after this long. Your use of your will stat was impeccable, by the way, Ori. Really, like you understand your character's kit so well. The ritual knife synergizing with your veneer perk, synergizing with your will stat. It's just clever. The vitality thing for the singing, the humming was really cool. Maybe even lean into that further if you're looking for stats to give her as you level. The manifestation was tight. Her genuine horror at the situation was extraordinarily believable. And yeah, that one massive veneer was just extremely consequential. Yeah, uh,
I still can't believe it worked.
well, I can. You put a lot into it. Um, it's great seeing the character again, and I look forward to seeing her more.
She's grown, and I'm very happy with how she's developed.
It was really fun seeing you lean into the corruption too, because as soon as I'm like, "Oh, this is corruption," you were like, "Ooh."
I love causing problems.
Yeah, that was awesome. Shelby plus Vessel is, I would imagine, a very fun combo consistently.
Be scared when Aspirant releases because she's getting things from the ability set of Vessel and Berserker. It's gonna happen.
Oh
That's
wow,
awesome.
that's a combo.
Yeah,
And then-
no one does.
And then lastly, Whimsy. The more I see her, the more I think she's a fantastic character, by the way. You have a lot of good characters, Rich. I think she and Jasper are my personal favorites that I've seen. The things that I think are so cool about Whimsy is that not only is she was like the glue on this mission. She was the one that was checking in with other people, like, but also her social play is understated but strong, and it's backed by a great set of fundamentals on the Illusionist kit. You did a great job identifying the plot and figuring out how to interface with the plot to get stuff done. Because as you might imagine, tricking the Croc is child's play. It's really easy to do. But the downside is if they realize that you are casting magic, they will blow you up.
Oh yeah.
And so you did a great job navigating a rather bomb defusal sort of situation. And yeah, I thought that just her social play was really strong.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fun dumping 3 seemingly cute girls, some of which were actually into a bunch of soldiers, and seeing you all navigate that in different ways. Shelby by being like, "I am dead. Take care of me," and then Octi by being like, "Yes, dance puppets," and then Whimsy by being like, "All right, boys, let's talk plainly." You know? So just great social play. This was such a when I saw the characters, when I saw the focus words, I was like, well, obviously this needs to be a social mission, and you certainly did not disappoint. Whimsy's a great character.
Thank you.
It was fun getting to see her just consistently face palming at the Croc shenanigans.
Oh indeed. He couldn't keep it off her face, but
Yeah, so she was a great audience stand-in there. You guys did beautifully. Any final thoughts before we sign off from any of you?
Mission name.
Yeah, thank you.
yes,
Uh,
I have a mission name
yes,
suggestion.
please.
go for it.
New Snow Over the Frontier.
Ooh. We could do in similar to the the All's Quiet on the Western Front. We could do New Snow on the Northern Front.
Yeah, that works.
That's fine.
Unless you all have like a strong other idea, then let's go for it.
Nope. That sounds fine to me. New snow on the northern front?
Yep.
Okay.
Marvelous. Thank you for reminding me of that, Ori. Any other final thoughts from you all?
Oh, thank you for conduiting.
Of course,
Yeah.
Marvel.
Yeah, thank you for conduiting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Actually, I did just have one quick question for
Yeah.
Ori. It's like,
Yes?
so the way the thing was like, all right, get to know the soldiers. Step 2, make it snow. Step 3, question mark. Step 4, profit. Like, once you got the snow, did you have another part of your plan? Or
My plan was full on guilt tripping, and also no. The only person
Cool.
I had my full plan written out, by the way, in when I had the full plan written out in a DM slot. I didn't have anything.
okay. No,
I
glad I was
was
able to
not
just tie that in at the end then. Because it'd be a
I was
shame to have
confident.
nearly died for it, not had it be consequential. You know?
It was in Lance's DMs that I was typing it out. That's where it was.
Nice.
Actually, Lance was the person who actually got me to do War's Over, Merry Xmas War's Over. I was originally going to do Carol of the Bells.
That
Cool.
was a nice touch.
Yeah, I'm glad that Shelby was corrupted and not all of us.
I was fully ready. I was fully expecting Shelby to die from that. To be so honest, I thought this was
That
their
was
last mission, and it would have
rough.
been awesome.
Well, again, the
But-
fact that you have 3 pluses in will was so consequential. In this mission.
Yeah.
I've learned from another agent. Will's important. I've
Totally.
learned from running agent with an absurd will. Anyways,
Well, along those same lines, thank you guys for all of the awesome conduiting you have been doing. It means a ton. It is the reason that we have the community we have and the game is doing the things that it is that you guys are taking the time to do it. I sincerely appreciate it, and I hope this has been fun for you.
Definitely.
Props to the community.
Full.
Indeed.
It's the important player in each session. The community.
Could not agree more.
That is certainly true.
yeah.
And with that, let us do our sign-offs. Barbara, Rich, Ori, in that order. Final words, and we'll wrap up.
Come back here and clean up the croc family. Give them some fresh blood.
Marvelous. And Rich.
A pleasure as always to be at this table, or table S as the case may be. And see you all hopefully in the future for another one.
Marvelous. And Ori.
This was great. Thank you for having me. What a wonderful way to mark the beginning of Yule for me, celebrational wise. And I wish a happy holidays.
Perfecto. And as always, my name is Robbie Howell. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch, and ciao for now.